creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together to now.
No, I had to hit record.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says, and not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption to wit, and the redemption of our body. Mm-hmm. For we are saved by hope.
We are saved by what?
By hope.
And who is our hope of Yahshua? Yahuwah is, isn't it? That's what it said. And what he said, we saved by what?
By hope.
What else?
But hope that is seen is not hope.
If you can see it, then it's not hope.
For what a man seeth, why doth he yet hope for?
If you can see it, then what you hoping for it for?
But if we hope that for what we see not, then do we with patience wait for it.
You do what? You wait for it?
It said, but if we hope for what we see not, then do we with patience wait for it.
Let's look at Proverbs 13 and 12.
Hope deferred maketh the heart sick, but when desire cometh, it is a tree of life.
Paul, you remember what the word was for desire? You remember that?
Get the cup.
It was ta'ava. Y'all remember the characters for that? Mm-hmm. Now, what you think that mean when he say hope deferred make the heart sick? That's what it said, right? Mm-hmm. So what you think? Ain't that basically what Paul telling you? See, while you waiting on something, it make your heart sick. But he say when the desire comes, what it becomes?
Tree of life.
A tree of life. So what you think that's telling you? What desire is coming that's going to be a tree of life? What is that desire? You know what? Because I talked to you about this other day. Give me Ezekiel 37. When will the tree of life appear? In New Jerusalem. So what has to happen before the tree of life appears? He got to come, but when he comes, what happens? Let's see. Ezekiel 37:3.
It says, and they said unto him, Son of man, can these bones live?
Can these bones what?
Can these bones
Let me ask y'all a question. Can bones live? Bones can't live, period. If we was to pull your bone out your body, is that bone alive? Absolutely not. What is a bone? Bone ain't nothing but some calcium. Go ahead.
It said, and I answered, O Yahuwah Elohim, thou knowest.
He said, you know. I don't know.
Again he said unto me, prophesy unto these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of Yahuwah. Mm-hmm. Thus said Yahuwah Elohim unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye
He calls what?
Breath.
He called what?
Breath.
Let me ask y'all a question. As far as y'all know, what that chapter talking about? You know what I'm saying? But how so? What does he mean? Read that verse to him again. What does he mean? What is he telling you?
Again he said unto me, prophesy unto these bones, and said to them, O ye bones, hear the word of Yahuwah. Thus says Yahuwah Elohim unto these bones, behold, I will cause the breath to enter unto you, and you shall live.
What does he mean? What does he mean, though? I mean, I don't want contextually. How do you know that? How can you prove that? Why do you believe that?
Because you was dead in your sin, you was bones.
Okay, but in this book, though, why do you believe that? See, this is what I mean by being general. Like, what can you look at to say, okay, I know exactly why he said that? If he said, breathe in these, I'm going to put breath in you and live, how? What does that mean? How can you prove that? Why do you believe that?
As far as going to another text.
Yeah, you already know that. Yeah. Okay, but how? He said, I will, didn't he say, I will breathe in you? So how is he going to do that? Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7. Then after that, Job chapter 33. See, what we dealing with is, why do you believe something? Can you actually, and this ain't talking about proving it to nobody else. What did it say in Acts? They searched the scriptures daily to see if those things were so. So if I had told you that and didn't offer you no scripts, then how are you going to search this to see if that's true? You just believed it because that's what I told you? You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be able to know, oh yeah, shoot, he breathed in Adam. He had life. He breathed in this over here, he had life. So then you know that's the resurrection of the dead, because Faith come by hearing, and hearing come by the word. You know the word, so that's why you believe it. So you would believe that he would breathe breath in you to get you up. Go ahead. That way you wouldn't fear death. Because when you hit that grave, after a good period of time, I don't know how long it takes. After a while, what's in that casket? Bones. So how's those bones gonna live? He gonna have to do something to make them bones live. Go ahead. Genesis 2:7.
And Yahuwah formed man out of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living soul.
So he breathed in him, right? So go to Job 33:4. Make it one. And down goes Eugene. That head weighing you down, boy. Job 33:1.
It said, wherefore, Job, I pray thee, hear my speeches and hearken unto all my words.
He said, Job, to do what?
Hear my speeches and hearken unto all my words.
Go ahead.
Behold, now I have opened my mouth, and my tongue hath spoken in my mouth. My words shall be of the uprightness of my heart, and my lips shall utter knowledge clearly.
Clearly.
The Ruach of Elohim have made me.
The Ruach of what?
Of Elohim have made me.
And what else did it do?
And the breath of the Almighty have given me life.
The breath of the Almighty have done what?
Given me life.
Now that go to what you mentioned, Darius, in John 6:63. Now where did Yahushua do this? Now let's go there. John 20:20. So guess what? How these two things tying together? Because your iniquities can't be purged until you die. And then when you die, what has to happen after that? You're going to have to be resurrected. So you see the part of how these two things go together. If you don't die, your sins don't get forgiven. So if you don't die, then your sins don't get forgiven. Then you can't enter into the door or the dalet or the dalet, the lamar or the tile. So now you don't have the teaching to get you into the covenant, which will allow you to enter into the door, because the teaching of the covenant is to die, is to sacrifice yourself. That's what he taught you. Ain't that what he taught you? He told you to take up your stake and do what? Every day. Not when it's convenient, not when you feel like it, every day. Then what is it? Christians love to quote this word from Paul. We'll read it. I ain't gonna mention it. We just gonna read it. I ain't gonna mention it. Go ahead, man. We'll read it after this verse. John 20:20. And after that, 2 Corinthians 4 and about verse 14.
It says, and when he had so said, he showed unto him his hands and his side. And then the disciples were glad when they saw the master. And Yahushua then said Yahushua to them again, Shalom be unto you, as my Father has sent me, even so I send you. And when he had said this, he breathed.
He what?
He breathed on
He
them.
what?
He breathed on
Were
them.
those not dry bones and sitting there? Why is he breathing on them? Just to do the simpler terms, if somebody stop breathing in a natural sense, what they tell somebody to go do? CPR. And when you do performing CPR, what you doing? You breathing breath into them. Let me show you something. Where is that at? Where is that at? With give me that in 1 Kings 17. Is it 17? When Elijah do the same thing, breathed on the little boy. He breathed on the little boy. You know what I'm talking about? Tell him the chapter and verse when you did, because it's escaping my brain.
At 19.
1 Kings 19?
17.
1 Kings chapter 17 and verse 19. Give them a moment to get themselves there. 1 Kings chapter 17 and verse 19. Proceed.
It says, and he said unto her, give me thy son.
Oh, you got to back that up then. So when she see that he dead.
Oh.
17 to 17.
It said, it came to pass after these things that the son of the woman in the midst of the house fell sick, and his sickness was so sore that there was no breath left in him.
There was no what?
Breath left in him.
Was Yahushua's sickness so sore there wasn't no breath in him? Where can we read where there wasn't no breath in him that his sickness was that sore? Yeah, when he cried out and he did, and it said he gave up the what? Gave up so he gave up his breath. You know what I'm saying? His sickness was that sore. What was his sickness? The sins. You were his sickness. He had no sickness. You were the sickness. You were the disease. You brought death. You brought sin. Go ahead.
It says, and she said to Elijah, what have I to do with thee, O thou woman of Elohim? Art thou come unto me to call my sin to remember?
Man of Elohim.
Man of Elohim. Art thou come to me to call my sin to remember?
You see the difference of how they thought? She thought her son was dying because she done did something she ain't had no business and she was getting paid back for it. So we don't think like that. Something happened to you, you be like, oh man, what's the first thing a nigga scream? The devil busy. Nah, Yahuwah busy. You forgot about that stuff you had going on. Now it's time for him to come see you. See, niggas don't think that way because it's always the devil. The devil ain't did nothing but what he was told to go do. Straight up and down. The devil wasn't busy with Job. Y'all told him, he asked, can I go do this to him? He said, yeah, go ahead, man. He said, but you can't kill him though. You can destroy everything he got, but you can't kill him though. You know what I'm talking about? And y'all told Satan, you called me to move against this man without cause. He ain't even did nothing. The first thing this woman said out of her mouth when her son died is, you calling my sins to remembrance? That's the first thing Obadiah said when Elijah told him to go see Ahab. You calling my sins to remembrance? Go ahead.
And he said unto her, give me thy son. And he took him out of her bosom and carried him up into a loft where he abode and lay him upon his own bed.
And what else?
And he cried unto Yahuwah and said, O my master, my Elohim, O Yahuwah, my Elohim, thou hast also brought evil upon the widow with whom I sojourned by slaying her son. And he stretched himself upon the child 3 times and cried unto Yahuwah and said, O Yahuwah, my Elohim, I pray thee, let this child's soul come into him again. And Yahuwah heard the voice of Elijah, and the soul of the child came unto him again, and he was revived. And Elijah took the child and brought him down out of the chamber of the house.
Okay, then it wasn't his, because I'm looking for the little boy that sneezed. That was Elisha then. I gotta remember what I said. I'll find it for you. Yeah, he sneezed. Yeah, it was, but I thought that was Elijah. Yeah, he sneezed. You ain't know that he sneezed, Shayla? 2 Kings chapter 4 and about verse 30. You ain't familiar with that? Y'all familiar with the little boy sneezing? 2 Kings chapter 4 and verse 30.
It says, and the mother of the child said, as Yahuwah liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And he arose and followed her.
Back it up to 25.
It says,
2 Kings chapter 4 and verse 25.
so she went and came unto the man of Elohim to Mount Carmel. And it was said to pass that the man of Elohim saw her afar off, that he said unto Gehazi, his servant, behold, yonder is that the Shunammite. Run now, I pray thee, to meet her, and say unto her, is it well with thee?
Pause. Do y'all know who this woman is and why Elisha was so concerned with her and happy to see her to a certain extent? Do y'all know you know what this woman did for Elisha? Not only that, but when she said she used to see him walk past, and she said, I perceive this is a man of Elohim, and she made a room for him. Made a bed for him, gave him a little table, set a little lamp in there for him, and fed him every time he came through. Because she said maybe if we make a bed for him and a room for him, he'll come in here and kick it with us from time to time. Go ahead.
It said,
You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, she didn't have a child. So because she did this, Elisha asked her, what would you want me to request Yahuwah for you? He said, you know what? You ain't got no baby. You're going to have a baby this time next year according to the time of life. And she said, don't lie to me. That's what it was at work. She said, don't lie to me. He said, watch what I tell you. So this is where this is coming in at. Go ahead.
It says, run now, I pray thee, to meet her, and say unto her, is it well with thee? Is it well with thy husband? Is it well with the child? And she answered, it is well. And when she came unto the man of Elohim to the hill, she caught him by the feet. But Gehazi came near to thrust her away.
What is that? She caught him by the feet. He tried to thrust her away. What is that? That's when the lady grabbed his hem and the apostles told her, you need to go. You know what I'm saying? You got to remember, everything is written. Everything has already been told. Because Gehazi was what to Elisha? That was his servant. That was his disciple. Because what were the disciples? What were the apostles shooing that woman away for? They thought she was troubling him. But that woman had a matter that was hid from Yahusha that he didn't know. Now look what Elisha finna say.
It says, and she called him by his feet, but she came near to thrust her away, and the man of Elohim said, let her alone, for her soul is vexed within her. And Yahuwah had hid it from me, and had not told me. Then she said, did I desire a son of my master? Did I not say, do not deceive me? Then he said unto Gehazi, gird up thy loins and take my staff in thy hand and go thy way. If thou meet any man, salute him not, and if any salute thee, answer him not again, and lay my staff upon the face of the child. And the mother of the child said, as Yahuwah liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And he arose and followed her. And Gehazi passed on before them and laid the staff upon the face of the child, but there was neither voice nor hearing. Wherefore he went again to meet him and told him, saying, the child is not awakened. And then
said the child is not what?
Awakened.
They don't look at it. They look at death totally different than we do. It's funny that people say rest in peace, because that's all death is. You ain't gonna know you sleep. You know what I'm talking about? Now how you feel when it come and you take that last breath might be totally different, but you're not gonna know you sleep once it comes. The lights just go out. Go ahead.
It said, then Elisha was coming to the house, and behold, the child was dead and laid upon his bed. He went in therefore and shut the door upon them twain and prayed unto Yahuwah. And he went up and laid upon the child and put his mouth upon his mouth.
He put his
eyes upon his eyes.
And his eyes upon his eyes.
And his hands upon his hands.
Mm-hmm.
And he stretched himself upon the child, and the flesh of the child waxed warm. Then he returned and walked into the house to and fro, and went up and stretched himself upon him, and the child sneezed 7 times, and the child opened his eyes.
He put breath in his body. So let's go to 1 Thessalonians 4 and 16. And then after that, we go to Ezekiel 37. So, matter of fact, you go back to Ezekiel 37. So now when you see how he say he'll put that breath in him, you live. Because what does Ruach by definition mean? Breath. So without that breath, you're dead. You're just going to be in that grave as bones. And now you can understand why he says that those that don't have the Ruach will not be a part of the first resurrection, because they have no breath in them. This is why he said if you don't have the Ruach of Mashiach, you're none of his. You don't have that breath in you, so therefore you can't get up. So you have to sit back and look at it. How can bones have breath? Because that word was in them. It was already in them. It don't go nowhere. He said your works do follow you. Go ahead. Ezekiel 37:4. No, I declined. Ezekiel 37:4.
It says again, he said unto me, prophesy unto these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of Yahuwah.
Why are these bones dry? So what can you read in the text where it talk about ain't no water in a grave? I did tell you this. Don't in the book of Zechariah he tell you that you prisoners of hope, by the blood of the covenant I deliver you from the pit where there was no water. In the hole that they threw Joseph in, what did it say that pit was? Say he had no water in it. So when you go on the grave, is there any water in it? No. So what did Yahusha had to do? Go preach to the Ruachs in prison because there was no water in those holes. This is why he tell you that these bones are dry. Because ain't no water in their graves. Ain't no Ruach in their graves. They don't have living water. Go ahead.
It said, and Yahuwah said unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and you shall live. And I will lay my sinews upon you, and I will bring up flesh upon you.
He'll do what?
I will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin.
Cover you with what?
With skin.
Now what that sound like? When he say that, a spirit don't have flesh and bone as you see me have. Now how can we look at that and say that's the awakening of the children of Israel? Everybody in here got flesh on them. This man is literally telling you, I'm going to take flesh and put it on your bones. It's only one instance where somebody need flesh to be put upon their bones. And that's when you dead. You know what I'm saying? So he's giving you a vision of what he gonna do when you rest. You're not coming up some spooky little spirit floating around, dancing like these people like to show. How many of y'all seen the movie Ghost? And what they had him? He was a ghost. Well, no image, walking through walls and all of that type of stuff. Y'all know what that actually is, right? That's necromancy.
Oh,
Method Man movie too with Marlon Wayans. They did it too.
Yeah, you're right. They did do that.
They did it too. Yeah, they did. They do it in a lot of movies. Ain't no ghost floating around here. I'm telling you right now, boy. You see a ghost in your house, but it say, "I rebuke you, Satan." Now what you better do? Talking about that's my grandma coming through the wall. That's Satan.
That was when Whoopi Goldberg fell in love with spirit.
No, that was the Whoopi Goldberg helped bring the spirit up of the wife of Demi Moore, who was in her husband or boy, whatever he wore. I think a nigga shot him. Yeah, he should have got shot for that horrible performance.
Oh yeah.
Now I seen the clip the other day. You know what was really hilarious, and I'm only thinking about it because of that video, the clip of that dude ranking on just hilarious. Was Tales from the Hood. Them niggas thinking they were hanging out chilling, they was in hell the whole time.
I remember that.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen Sixth Sense. I know the movie. Sixth Sense is a little. It's the movie where the little white boy say, "I see dead people."
Yeah, that's the
I don't know what none of y'all talking about.
I mean, that's before y'all time though.
I knew Whoopi Goldberg was in it.
But I mean, that movie Ghost came out in like 88, 89, 9 or something. It's a very, very old movie.
Nah, see, I know about that.
Are you talking about Fallen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that too.
But that wasn't like that though.
He ain't had no ghost in Fallen.
That spirit, you couldn't see the spirit. You couldn't see it. It was real. Like that was more realistic.
It was bouncing from the
See, and I'm mentioning this for y'all for a reason, cause we ain't got no business watching no television shows or movies where these niggas dealing with familiar spirits. Do you know what I'm saying? As a Yahoo demon, if you see that, you ain't supposed to be. That's entertaining. That should be offensive to you. You know what I'm saying? Why should it be offensive? Deuteronomy 18:9.
That's wrong, little Harry Potter.
I don't know nothing about Harry Potter. Word or no word, I wouldn't watch Harry Potter. I wouldn't watch Harry Potter. That nigga a wizard.
Nothing but old little hard water.
Shoot.
Let's play Quidditch.
You watching no wizard?
Hogwarts.
If you're gonna watch a wizard, you might as well go holler at the root lady or the people who do palm reading.
Get you a point for that matter.
Shoot.
You said 15?
18 and 9. If we gonna be honest with it, that's what you might as well do, right or wrong.
You ain't lying.
That's what you might as well do. Go ahead and get your roll on. If you gonna do it, go all the way out with it. Go ahead, Deuteronomy 18 and 9.
It says, when thou art coming to the land which Yahuwah thy Elohim giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations.
You shall not learn to do what?
The abominations of those nations.
And what are those abominations?
There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or daughter pass through the fire.
And what else?
Or that uses divination.
Hold on, the what?
Divination.
Ain't got no business telling somebody calling on no spirits.
Or
Go
a
ahead.
observer of time.
Ain't got no business around here dealing with no psychic.
Or an enchanter or a witch.
Or a witch. And what does the law say about a witch? Don't even lie on to live. And remember what we were well, you have to understand script. What you mean what's true? No, that stuff ain't true. It's true if you believe in the devil.
I mean, you gotta die.
Man, it ain't none of that happening. Because if they got any power, their power come from the devil. But it's not real. It's false. See, it ain't nothing real about it. Because they like this. And then on top of that, 99.9%, they got a technique and a skill they use to try to dig for information and just throw general stuff. And you be like, yeah, that's what happens. That's all they do. It's a racket.
Call me now for your free reading.
Who? Madam Cleo made millions off of niggas. But you know why? You know why they make millions off of this here? Read this here though. But this why they make millions off of stupid niggas. This why, and white people too. Go ahead. Well, shoot, white people niggas too, so it don't make no difference. They more niggas than a nigga. You ever seen that? Somebody shared that video of that white lady talking about all the news people get happy is. They love to throw little white women on TV crying about their churn. Let somebody kill your child. They don't care nothing about no nigga,
I
baby.
used to watch that show back in the day, Medium, with the white lady with the blonde. Mm-hmm.
Some of y'all, that cracker who used to be on Montel Williams just slid through here a couple months ago.
Oh, yeah.
What's that cracker name?
Told me to tell you, hey.
His name John Sutton.
I think I used to watch that show.
Come on, man.
I don't know nothing
Yeah,
else.
Bravo.
I don't know what the tactics or techniques is.
No, I've seen that with psychics. They have techniques where they use certain key words that will draw you along to make you feel like they're telling you something.
You don't believe that Ouija board stuff?
No, that's all of it satanic.
But I'm saying it's real.
No, it ain't. It's only gonna be real. It's only gonna be real to people who are not with Yahuwah. So therefore, they could be tormented by them spirits. That's not gonna affect me. You know what I'm saying? You nigga can play with Ouija boards all you want.
I want to be in room one with.
I wouldn't be in room one because I'm offended. You know what I'm saying? You wicked bastard. This is an abomination to me. I find this detestable. So when I walk past here, so you don't trust Yahuwah enough, you want around here talking about Damballa and moving a little circle on some letters. You got to be the dumbest nigga walking. Oh, you ain't never seen Chucky, huh?
I heard something that sound like.
You ain't never seen Chucky? That's what that nigga said when he was asking that spirit to come in that dog. You ain't never seen Chucky?
You never seen the
You ain't never seen Child's Play?
You see
I mean, that's an old movie though.
You ever seen that film?
You seen none of the new Chucky?
I ain't seen no new Chuckies. The last Chucky I seen was The Bride of Chucky. Me and Langston snuck in Tinseltown. We snuck in
I
Tinseltown.
wasn't no TV type guy.
That wasn't no TV. That was in the movies. It was a movie. They made like 4 of them. Come on. Yeah, I ain't seen no Cedar
Know
Chucky.
my type of movie.
But come on, y'all, because y'all getting too loud and distracted and having too many cross conversations. Come on. Deuteronomy 18. Come on.
It says, for all that do these things are an abomination.
You're an abomination to Yahuwah if you do
I
that.
didn't read 11.
Come on.
It say, or a witch, or a charmer,
A charmer.
or a consulter with familiar spirits.
What did Saul get in trouble for? Consulting with, call up Samuel for me. So somebody who calling up a familiar spirit trying to call up the dead. And remember the law say do not suffer a witch to live. And if you remember how we cross-reference that, you cross-reference that from don't cast your pearls before swine.
So what you think of the people that do like paranormal activity?
Satanic worshipers of stupidity. Ain't no ghosts floating around here. You just run around chasing demons. It's an unclean spirit. You just chasing Satan. What you doing is you're chasing Satan's Malachim. And you too stupid to know that you chasing Satan's Malachim. Some of the people don't know. They really believe it's ghosts because they don't believe
They
this.
don't believe the book. So they're not looking at it as a devil, Satan type.
They think it's somebody haunting the house. But the people dead in the grave. You know what I'm talking about? They like to say this house is haunted. Old man Willis is haunting this house. Old man Willis in his grave. He been chilling. How long he been in there? He ain't bother nobody. He ain't thinking about nobody. He don't even know he in there. You know what I'm saying? When you die, the book say your thoughts perish. That's the end of it.
And that don't really be them people. That'd be a demon coming in the appearance of that.
And you thinking,
Yeah,
Grandma!
yeah, that'd be a demon.
Grandma! Guess what? In every horror movie you ever seen, when a nigga ran up to grandma, thinking that was grandma, it was a devil. They show you what time it is. Every horror movie, when somebody run up to a spirit they thought was their dead family member, it turned, when they got to him, Satan showed himself who he was. And people, Grandma! They see no, you like this here? And now you scared and you running away. We don't play it. See, but listen to what he say though. Come on, man. Come on, man. Listen to what he say. Cause I want you to understand what Yahuwah finna tell you. Come on, man.
It said, for all that do these things are an abomination.
If you do it, you're a what?
An abomination.
And what else?
And because these abominations, who will drive you from out before thee.
Mm-hmm.
For thou shalt be perfect with Yahuwah Elohim.
Thou shalt be what?
Perfect with
What
Yahuwah
words you
Elohim.
think for perfect right now? It's Tamaim right there. It's Tamaim right there. So now you got the Ta, the meme, the yard, and the meme. So what is the message that he's telling you? That by the blood of the right hand, you can enter into the covenant. Because he told you, Yahuwah your Elohim has not suffered you to deal with any of these things. Because you got me. You know what I'm saying? See, people go to psychics and all this stuff because they don't got Yahuwah, because they want to know what their future holds. They want to know this, they want to know that. They don't have no. So basically, they set their hope in unclean spirits instead of into Elohim, the spirit, instead of Yahuwah. See how that went back to what we read in that Jeremiah 17? Come on back there. We good in Ezekiel 37. I don't even need that more. Give me Jeremiah 17 and 13 so we finish that out. Come to 2 Chronicles 29. I got a lot of time. That first 30, 45 minutes was a no-go. I ain't did that in a while. So it's stuff that we don't fool with. So, because like this here, right? We protect this movie. We see this movie tonight, you're going to be offended. I guarantee you, because niggas already told me they got other gods, nations in that movie. And when you see that, you should be offended. That's why I'm tripping on Brews who like Wakanda this. Nigga, they worship Egyptian deities, nigga. I don't want to be nowhere where they worshiping Anubis, the jackal god, nigga.
The kings, though.
You know what I'm talking about? And going to hell. What happened to the Egyptians and their gods? He said, I'm going to execute judgment on the Egyptians and they what? So guess what Yahuwah would do to Wakanda? A brood nigga tell you too religious. It's just a movie. Yeah, it is. But let's just be honest though. You know what I'm saying? Because see, when we see stuff that's contrary to him, a lot of times we don't be offended. You know what I'm saying? If somebody repping another God, that should offend you off the rip. Because now you taking the steam away from my Elohim as if he didn't make all things by the power of his might in his hand. Nigga, I'm offended, nigga. You just gave his esteem to a panther. And you think I'm supposed to be cool with that? To not offend you because you feel like we got a positive image, brother. I got a positive image. He sit at the right hand of Elohim. I don't need no comic book character for that. But I would tell them the other day though, we the only race of people that say we don't have no positive images on television because every other nationality don't look for positive images on television and movies for their people. Now by proxy, of course, white people don't have that problem because everything is them. You know what I'm saying? But if there were no movies and no television, they would still have positive images and we the only people say they got to show us in a better light on TV. How about you cut the TV off and show better images in your neighborhood? You know what I'm saying? See, we the only race of people that want to live in it. We felt like we could make it because of Bill Cosby. White people got real doctors and lawyers to look at. We felt proud about Bill Cosby and have translated Cliff Huxtable into being William H. Cosby III. Cliff Huxtable is not William H. Cosby III. Cliff Huxtable is a fictitious character. According to reports, Bill Cosby is a rapist. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just, but if he ain't, it ain't confirmed he a rapist. It's confirmed he an adulterer though.
Yeah.
It ain't that big happy family.
You don't know, ain't no alleged, because his wife the big came out and said he been slinging that old wrinkled meat for a long time.
Oh my goodness.
Cause he old, nigga. Cause he old. Cause he old. Cause he old.
Nah, but I was really thinking though, it's really us wanting to be like them.
Yeah, you want to be like them.
Crackers have positive images and all that.
So since he said that, Proverbs 3 and 31.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
That's exactly what it is. Because I said, right, how many times you ever heard any race of people say we need positive images on? Guess what Latino people did? Made Telemundo. That's what they did. You don't hear no Asian people talking about, we need, every Asian movie they make, it's a negative stereotype of them people. You ain't never heard an Asian person nan time say we need positive images for our children on TV and movies. Not one time you ever heard none of them come out and say that publicly. Because they don't care.
They got a lot of positive Asian movies.
Shoot, I ain't seen that because every Asian movie you see them niggas a kung fu master or a gangster. If that ain't stereotypical, I don't know what is.
But that's part of their culture.
What? Asians got plenty of gangsters. You ain't know?
They invented them style of kung fu, so it's really giving them.
I'm thinking like,
They
dynasty they got.
No, I'm saying
Unique dynasty.
Like they know they is
trash.
But it said knowing your history do play a role, but even still though, they don't walk around saying, I need a positive image in a television or movie for my children. See, they have enough sense to know I'm the positive image for my child.
Like you said, they don't got movies really making them look bad like that. They just gangsters and
That's bad.
It's smart.
But see, but they don't
Got a
put.
lot of movies where they
But
was
nah,
smart.
I say gangsters like.
But no, we see, no, they don't have a lot of movies. They have a part.
They got a
I
none.
get what you're saying.
But for the majority, when you see most Asian people in the movie, the first thing you're gonna think about is, does he do kung fu? This is how white people present them. You know what I'm talking about?
But that's still part of their culture, though. They invented that.
No, I know, but they did invent that. Though.
I mean, not invented that,
But
but
they-
it's part of their
That's what
culture.
they is.
That's not part of cracker culture.
But guess what though? But guess what though? But when you talk to Asians though, they get offended if the first thing you come at them with is karate. That's not. I'm gonna be honest with you. No, but no, kung fu is only karate is only a small part of their culture. It's only a small part. It's not as big, and the reason why we think it's a big part of their culture because that's what white people told you.
But they got different parts.
It's the same way most people.
It's not. It's a small part.
Still live over there in Hutch, because that's what's presented.
Yeah, them people not on kung fu and karate like that. Not like that.
I don't feel like they'll be offended though if we say they.
I was gonna say, I think some of them.
I mean, I done been around a lot of Asians, bro. That's a stereotype, and they don't like it. They don't like it. You know what I'm saying? They don't. They really don't like it.
They always have.
It's in they get several styles.
I put it to you this way: coming at them, asking them, do they do karate? Is like when white people come to you because you tall and ask you, do you play basketball?
I don't think it's the same.
It is. I'm talking about. I've dealt with Asians. I'm telling you, it's the same thing.
Because in our culture, it's like basketball.
So some black people, that's highly offensive. So I'm tall, I gotta play basketball.
I took karate though, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
No, because like I said, right, just like Asians get offended if you call me Chinese and I'm from Vietnam. Because all those cultures are not the same.
I know it does offend you when you think all of them super smart.
You know what I'm saying? It's not the same.
Technology.
But we talking about how they present them in movies. Niggas sit back and you laugh about it and this, that, and the third. It's a part of their culture. It's not a major part of their culture. It's not what defines them. It's what white people have told you defines them. You know what I'm saying? Period.
I don't think that, bro. You like that IP man. That's part of their culture. It's history behind some of that stuff, bro.
It is, but it's not.
Basketball has nothing to do with the history of niggas, bro, at all.
To white people it is.
That don't have nothing to do with us.
To white people it is.
But I'm saying that's not the fact. The fact
But see, what I'm talking about, you saying fact, but that is a stereotype. Cause all Asian people don't participate in karate. All Asian people don't know karate.
That's not the point. We're saying
But what I'm
basketball has nothing to do with niggas.
But what I'm talking about, it's the what I'm talking about, I'm talking about a stereotype. Because I'm black and I'm tall, you automatically assume that I play a sport. You know what I'm talking about? So because I'm Asian, you gonna automatically assume, shoot, a stereotype is a stereotype.
But it's true though.
It's not true.
But it is the real
But see, just because I'm Asian, I don't participate in karate. That's offensive to me because you just assume because I'm Asian, I do karate. But okay, regardless, you stuck on culture, it's a stereotype. So it doesn't matter. That's a stereotype. You're looking at me, it's the same way people look at you and say you black and you steal cause you black. You didn't say it's a part of his culture, he do karate. You seen an Asian nigga and asked him, do you know kung fu? So that's a stereotype. And where did that stereotype come from? How they're presented in media. If they didn't present that in movies like that, you wouldn't think that.
I understand that, but
There's kung fu movies that's made by Asians.
Okay, but get what? You ain't seen all them kung fu movies.
Made by Asians.
Okay,
They made their own movies about their culture and their
okay, but guess what? Not all of them though. Because most of them. No, listen to me. Because see, you got to know the difference. Because most kung fu movies are made by Japanese people.
It's still Asian culture.
No, it's not Asian culture when you look at this, because every culture within that landmass is different. So when you no, it's not, because if you step to a Vietnamese nigga, they not on kung fu. So when you say that, that's offensive. That's a stereotype. That's a stereotype. You know what I'm saying? You step to a nigga who Cambodian, he gonna be offended by that.
They might have a different style, they have a different culture, but it's still some sort of martial arts. Karate and kung fu.
But that don't define them. My point is this here, right? You're saying that defines them.
I'm not saying that.
Well, you just said
that's a piece of your culture, some sort of way.
But again, but it's still, but regardless, it's the stereotypical aspect of, because I fit this picture in your head, I gotta participate in that. That is a stereotype. But it don't relate to me. Who told you it related to me?
Because it originated over there.
But that's the difference though. Historically, it didn't. It originated with you.
No, I'm saying that fighting style, kung fu, is their.
But regardless though.
Their name.
Okay, but who did they learn it from?
I don't know, but
they learned it from black people.
Everyone has borrowed some part of people.
But that's my point though. So no, I'm not going off because you saying that defines them.
I'm not saying that.
You have said that.
I'm just saying that that's part of their culture, bro. I'm not saying that.
And now I'm saying that it's a small part of their culture. So when you look at them and say, okay, but what I'm saying is, but when you look at them and say this is what you do because you're this nationality and background, you have stereotyping.
I'm not saying that's what.
And then when I'm talking about is in
a black man not gonna walk up to another black man asking about kung fu. That has nothing to do with him.
You know what I'm saying?
Nothing to do with him.
But regardless of what, basketball ain't got nothing to do with you. So why you assume I play sports because I have? But it's but guess what though? But it's still the same.
That's offensive to me because I don't have nothing to do with.
But it's still guess what? Just because I'm Asian don't mean I got something to do with karate.
But your people do.
But it doesn't matter. I don't. So why do you assume that?
Because that's why I'm asking.
So why you can't put your no, it's not. See, that's the point. It's not good to assume.
Not good.
The reason why I say that is because you look at it as that's offensive to you. Why you can't put yourself in their shoes and see that would be offensive to them?
It's not why I put myself in their shoes.
That's offensive. That is offensive. Oh, you do karate? Because you automatically assume.
Now if I say, hey bro, go fight that nigga because you know karate. You know what I'm saying? And I never talked to this nigga, bro. That's more offensive than.
Okay, you don't know me.
I'm assuming.
Because you assume.
You be like, alright, cool. I just thought you did.
Because that means, so that assumption is based off of what? Why did you assume that?
You're going off of what black people, white people perceive.
But what I'm asking, I'm asking you a question. You see an Asian person, why would you assume that? Why would you assume that? You know what I'm saying? So why would you assume that though? So okay, you say it's in his culture. So when you ask him that and he get offended, why would you be shocked that he was offended? So I'm Asian, I got to do karate? I mean, come on, bro. That's a stereotype.
That's not cultural.
But that's what Crocker said. We like. But the Asians say they like that because Asians open up karate places where they teach people and other people to do that. That's not white.
I mean, a lot of people open up. A lot of people do that.
That's all I'm saying, bro.
But what I'm telling you is,
I'm saying, bro.
What I'm saying, but what my point is this. No, I ain't saying it makes sense. What you missing the point is you just automatically assume that because it's a part of my culture and I belong to this nationality.
You go to any Chinese or Asian or Oriental, Kung Fu, karate, whatever form of martial arts spot, those places are not started by white people.
I mean, it's black people that have
those Asian people start those places.
But you talking about the places, we're talking about a regular person. You saw them and you automatically assume that what I'm talking about is before you knew anything about culture, you see them in these movies and this is what you're going to relate to. This is what they do.
I'm half Spanish, right? I tell people I'm half Spanish. First question they ask me, do you speak Spanish? I don't know. I tell them no, I don't.
I mean, that's a different thing. That's a language versus an activity that you're going to assume I participate in because of my nationality. But that's a different thing because if you say I'm half Spanish, then I'm going to assume do you speak the language of that nationality versus you assume that I participate in an activity that is not mutually exclusive to my nationality.
I wouldn't be offended.
You wouldn't because you black. But I've met Asian people, they're offended by that.
Somebody asked us doing this in hip hip-hop because he's black. That's not offensive.
But to some black people that is. Why do you gotta assume because I'm black I listen to rap music? I might like classical. I might like jazz. Why do you assume that I like
I feel
that?
like niggas shouldn't be offended.
It should be like that cultural.
People get offended by it because of I didn't say whether it's right or wrong. People don't like to be stereotyped.
But then still in part of that culture, yes. All right, that.
You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying to tell you is the reason why I say this here is if you don't feel like it's a negative thing for them to be stereotyped, don't feel like that when you get stereotyped. You know what I'm saying?
But I feel like a stereotype cannot be based off of something that's true, bro.
A stereotype can be based off something that's true.
But look,
Because you're
saying a stereotype is something like basketball.
Because
I'm saying that's the example that I'm saying.
It's just lumping everyone in one group.
That's why they say Mexicans do y'all work. Well, they do, but not all of them. But they do.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same way a stereotype is all black people steal. All black people don't steal. All black people ain't lazy. All black men don't take care of their children.
I feel like you brought up stereotype when we were talking about fighting in general. All I was saying.
No, I was talking about you don't see Asian people saying I need a positive image
But I was saying
in a movie.
those movies that they created for themselves to glorify that small part of their culture don't have nothing to do with what you were talking about.
No, I didn't even mention their movies. I mentioned
But
here.
I'm saying,
So
we
when I'm
don't
talking-
have black movies because they thinking Black Panther is a black movie. That's why they're going to support it.
I mean, but
That's all I was
niggas
saying.
got a lot of movies, but what I'm talking about is the point of we finally have a positive image in the movie. You don't hear other races of people talking like that because they don't care. Because they're not looking for their validation from a movie and from a fictitious character. They do it amongst their own community. See, when an Asian person step out the door, I don't need to see no Asian person positive in my neighborhood. Because when I go to Chinatown in New York City, I see it every day. When I go to San Francisco and I step out the door, I see it every day. You know what I'm talking about? A Latino person not going to say that because I see this every day. Now, of course, we know white people don't have to see it, but black people have the need. I need to see a doctor on TV. I need to see a lawyer on TV. I need to see something positive in a movie. But when they step out their door in their neighborhood, they don't see that. So now you've trained my child to live in a fantasy world instead of dealing in reality to give him something real and tangible to strive to. Because Bill Cosby is not Cliff Huxtable. T'Challa is not a real person. You know what I'm talking about? So the first person they supposed to be looking to is your God if you serve Yahuwah. And then as a man, if you ain't even set nothing up for your child, what have you done for him? What image are you setting for him? Because you're going to be, guess what, Lil Henry, you're going to be the first man he look up to before anybody. Why would you want your child to want to be a superhero? I've heard people say this. This is why this movie is important to us. We got a black superhero. Why would you want your child to be Spider-Man, Batman, Black Panther? Why? What sense does that make we grown? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind have Bruce Wayne money, but guess what? Bruce Wayne got his money because his people got murked, so that's white privilege. Because ain't no nigga finna get killed and his people leaving $1 billion. Because Oprah ain't got no churn, so she ain't leaving no money to no niggas.
So you don't think it makes sense for you to say that like they on TV right?
Why? They need to see good black people in real life. Screw TV. Because that's fantasy land. That's not real life.
I mean,
Yeah, that's how I should be.
So cut this. That's the whole key point. Read Proverbs 3:31. Screw TV. Because TV's not real life. That gives you a false sense of reality. I done been around niggas who live in a perpetual fantasy world because of television. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of black people have wanted to be white because of what they saw on television. You know what I'm saying? It distorted their whole self-view of themselves because of television. So you got people who dress, speak, and act a certain way because of television. You know what I'm saying? I don't need, if we want to have something positive for the kids, then we need to make something positive about ourselves and manifest that in our neighborhoods so they can see it. But first and foremost, in your household. In your household. You shouldn't want your son to look up to a nigga on TV before he look up to you. He live with you every day. This nigga come on once a week.
That just show you how broke our community is.
That was my whole point. Yeah, that was before integration.
I mean, honestly, it's not today. It's a lot of successful black people.
Indeed. Yeah, but also it is a lot. But then in the neighborhoods where them kids are downtrodden at, they not seeing them. They not seeing them. Cause once them niggas get on, they dip and they don't come back. So when they step out the door, they still seeing the dope fiend and the junkie or the nigga working at McDonald's who they don't really want to look up to. You know what I'm saying? Which ain't nothing wrong with working at McDonald's. I wouldn't want to work there, but ain't nothing wrong with it. That's all the point is. You don't hear other nations of people do that, and like that was my point, because we broke. We broke. And then the thing is we know that who controls the television network. So in reality, you're begging white people to show me in a better light so I can feel better about myself. Now, how stupid is that? You know what I'm saying? You're going to ask your oppressor, show me in a better light so I can feel better about myself. That defeats their whole cause of destroying you. If that was the case, they wouldn't even, when you came over here in them boats, they said, you know what, guys? We were wrong for bringing you here over here like that. Let me give you some money and some cattle and some land, and y'all go ahead and enjoy your life. We wrong for that. You know what I'm saying? We asked for a better image on television. Why these crackers will blow your brains out with a police uniform on, and then you shocked why they doing it. Go ahead though. Proverbs 3:31. Because this is what he talking about. This is how we be feeling. This is what we be doing.
It say, envy thou not the oppressor.
Envy what?
Thou not the oppressor.
And what?
Choose none of his ways.
And don't choose none of his ways.
For the forward is an abomination to you.
That's good right there, right? That's what ends up happening. We envy them. Whether consciously or subconsciously. Why do a lot of our women wear blonde hair? Because in television and in movies and in videos and in print ads, they tell you that is what is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? You don't see, you ain't never seen too many white folks rush to go buy brown contact lenses like black women rush to go buy blue contact lenses. Why? Because they told you that was beautiful. Whether you consciously agreed with it or not, and a lot of our people, that's in the back of their brain. Because that conversely, they'll tell you that your hair is ugly, that your facial structure is ugly, and that you need to look like this. You know what I'm saying? So then that's why we do it. Then they'll tell you the way that black people talk is not correct, and you need to use a certain type of inflection and diction in your voice when you speak. That you need to carry and conduct yourself in a particular type of way, which is white culture. Which is why we always turn around and ask to be equal or want what they have, because we envy them. You know what I'm saying? We envy their wealth, we envy their status, we want what they have. I heard Chuck D say a long time ago, this is why when you see rappers and stuff, when they get on, they buy a lot of jewelry, they buy certain cars, because they want to show white people, see, we made it. I'm equal to you. But then when you get the money, you find out you still a nigga. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Then you shocked.
I think sometimes too though, nigga couldn't never buy what they want to buy.
That's true. But you couldn't buy, but then the stuff that we want to buy, we buying it because we saw them with it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, with a lot of stuff in our neighborhoods, you ain't seeing too many niggas riding around in no Maserati, in no Lambo. You know what I'm saying? So where did you get the idea to want to drive a Ferrari from? And I'm talking about for the proliferation of hip hop culture. They in they television shows and in they movies pushing these whips. Ain't now nigga flying through Durkeville in no Lambo for no little kid to say I want a Lamborghini.
Around 50-20 in the Lambo.
It ain't many. It's some nowadays. Some of them niggas going to rent them. Some of them niggas buying them.
Rent them, but it's the same thing. I can rent it.
You know what I'm saying? Guess what though? You know what I'm saying? Most niggas been on a school bus, and what you used to do on the back of the school bus with your homeboy when the car's riding by? That's my car, and that's my car.
We definitely need to do that.
You know what I'm saying? And you doing that because you sitting around looking at us. Not everybody don't do that, but kids from a depressed neighborhood, because they sitting back looking at the people who ain't got nothing are looking at the people who got something. Who the people who got something? My will. White people. They the ones who got it. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm thinking like the outward is that too. I feel like that too.
Oh yeah, outwardly, inwardly, we be wanting to be. What that nigga said on Malcolm X when that nigga was in prison, sitting around here wanting to be white.
Yeah, white. Yeah, just white.
And where does that come from? So that's my point of that's the subconscious level of saying we want a positive image of black people on television, You know what I'm saying? If you want a positive image on black people on television, you know what you got to do? Go create your own. And stop asking them to do it. And just go do it yourself. You got the internet now. You don't need them. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to cut the TV on no more. You know what I'm talking about? All you got to do is, you know how many black people got streaming services that niggas don't even know that these people got? You don't have to watch these people stuff.
Let a nigga tell the dressing white is not wearing like how they dress in Black Panther. That's the whole point.
And you know that's a trend right there, because these niggas ain't gonna be wearing.
That's the whole thing.
Nigga gonna wear
white now. And Levi's and
That's not African culture though. That's real African culture. Niggas dress like that.
I know, but that was what she was saying. She was like, what's it?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. For Hebrews, but I put it this way, like for Hebrews, there is no dress code for us. And you know, I done told y'all this before. Like when the dude Achan got in trouble, he got in trouble because he wore the Babylonian garments. See, the Hebrews didn't have this is how we dress. They wore what they liked. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the time, whatever culture they was in or whatever time period we was in our land, that's what you rocked. You know what I'm saying? Dudes try to pigeonhole and say, now there's an Eastern style of dress that is different from a Western style of dress.
We can be safe and say, well, we know they wasn't rocking.
Yeah, and most of the things that they weren't rocking are new things. You know what I'm saying? A polo shirt is a new thing.
Hey.
When I say new thing, maybe 100 years old.
Don't put that back.
At the most. You know, jeans are probably about 150 years old. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, they wore cotton and linen. And that was it. You know what I'm talking about? T-shirts, I don't know how old a t-shirt is. But it ain't too much, it ain't too far from what a common Eastern shirt is. You know what I'm saying? But I know for most people, when they talking about dressing white, they talking about wearing khakis in a button-down shirt, putting the suit on, putting the monkey suit on.
Definitely wearing some jeans.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the cracker trademark jeans.
Now, cracker trademark in the South is cargo shorts and flip-flops with no socks.
I get what you're saying in the South, man.
and no socks.
No, that's the
But jeans in general. Any kind of denim jean, Wrangler, Levi's, they feel like that's
No, I ain't seen too many white boys that I knew wore boots and camo. Them white.
I'm talking about boots like them redneck boots.
See, that's sub white people stuff. That's sub white people stuff.
That is
Cause down here in Florida where it's warm, shoot, them crackers walking around with flip flops with no socks.
But jeans though. Jeans though. Just jeans. Just jeans though. Them crackers used to rock jeans with flip flops.
Yeah, you know they created jeans. They made jeans during the time period of when they were mining for gold. So they were actually made for a purpose. You know what I'm saying?
The durability.
They was made for the durability. They wasn't made, it just developed into a fashion thing. But they were made for when they were out there in California digging for gold. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, most articles of clothing, like the first polo shirts were made for people who play tennis and play polo, like literally. Yeah, I know they do, but now nobody equates these shirts with what they were made for.
It's fashion.
It's fashion.
Everything.
Cowboy boots.
But yeah, jeans, I feel like that's horse riding type vibe too. Any type of durable double stitch type pants. Nigga ain't finna spread your legs with no linen on like that.
These niggas ain't spreading. And you show like, cause you ain't getting on nothing with no linen on. You gonna feel every bump.
But shoot, that's how we was riding the cameras though, cause we ain't rocking jeans.
But they had cotton on. Everything they wore wasn't linen. They had cotton on. But the whole point of it is we don't need to invest. Like, there's nothing wrong with people who want to go see the movie or they enjoyed the movie. It's the stuff that they trying to draw from the movie. Like, now you're going a little too far because this is not reality.
And they trying to make it seem righteous.
Yeah, exactly. This is not reality. And I didn't feel no sense of pride because we got an all black cat. I didn't get no pride from that. Then, and also the part that tripped me out, then we'll move on is, now I'm not saying that we look at it this way, but a lot of people who go see this, when they seen this movie, are niggas who scream Illuminati this, Boule this, these niggas offer their blood sacrifices, niggas playing a nigga booty hole, and then you say this junk righteous. And that these righteous people. Right or wrong though? No, what I'm talking about is that most people who talk about, you done seen all these niggas who make these videos talking about niggas Illuminati and all this satanic references and symbolism in the movie. But now it don't count for this movie. Now these niggas ain't Boule and Illuminati because they made a movie that you like. See, that's hypocritical.
So, it just makes your point. If the niggas talk about Illuminati and all that.
You know it's Illuminati symbol.
You breaking down the video, see this mean this.
So they justifying the movie. It's like,
Well, they all said Bruce is telling other Bruce that
it's righteous.
this is righteous movie. This is what you need to go see. Your man got Black Panther t-shirts.
Bumping them.
Yes.
He bumping them too. Nah, I'll leave that alone. Yeah, he can leave that alone. But he doing it though.
He bumping them.
He bumping them though.
Black Panther t-shirts, preaching on the Sabbath. Black Panther t-shirts.
He mentioned it. I'll leave that alone. I ain't mentioned it. I forgot about it till he said it.
That's the only thing that made me think about it. Because that's tough.
That's tough.
That's tough. We'll talk. It ain't tight.
I'm just saying though. Don't be around here with Mike. I give you an example, and then we like this here, right? When Michael B. Jordan did Creed, I seen a nigga make a video talking about how that man was Illuminati. You know what I'm talking about?
Getting all the new roles. Look at him.
But now he ain't Illuminati no more because he in Black Panther. I done seen videos where niggas said Angela Bassett is Boule. Now she ain't Boule now because she in Black Panther.
Oh, that don't matter. We can overlook that.
That's hypocrisy.
Positive black image.
That's hypocrisy. Boule. I talked to you about it. Come on. Boule is a French word. It's a I can't remember the word is. Yeah, the bourgeois. Basically, it's a fraternity for rich niggas to keep you niggas want to be white. So you keep you niggas saying, I need a positive black image in the team.
You want your butt cut, right?
According to records, Martin Luther King was Boule, Jamie Foxx is Boule, all that type of stuff.
It's like a black aristocratic society. Nah, it ain't Illuminati though.
It's not Illuminati. They Masons, but they not Illuminati. Shaq is a part of the Boule. Remember I tell you like that? They put Shaq on there showing his ring. See, I was watching the video last night. They claim that if you're a part of these organizations, that you can't pull out a whole bunch of money in cash, or they'll get in trouble. And in the video, they were showing black youngster going to a Wells Fargo in Atlanta and withdrawing 200 racks. And before he got out the parking lot, they was on it. You know what I'm talking about? And they were like, oh, somebody wrote a bad check, but they didn't show the whole interview where the black youngsters say they took $100,000 from me. Say they doing an investigation because they were like, they got to use their cards. They can't have cash. Ooh. They was like black entertainers, period. Like they can't go to the bank, like not no show money and they get their money, but like go to the bank and pull out a large amount of cash. They keep claiming that they'll get in trouble for it. I can't speak to it because I don't know. But I wouldn't doubt it because black youngsters say I'm worth $1.3 million and they like I can't pull my money out because this nigga did not get out the bank door and the police were already there.
Oh, you know they stalled him out. Let me count out to $200,000.
But he was shocked because he was wondering what happened, and the dude was like, clearly he didn't know. Because when you look at a lot of them dudes, you don't see them with a lot of cash. Who? Man, when you see, man, most of them rappers that be show money they keep that they ain't dropped in the bank.
Oh no, I'm saying, yeah. Like he was saying, seeing them go in there,
go in a bank and pull it out.
Yeah.
So they talking about they can't go in the bank and pull it out. Yeah, now see the nigga. They did, and see, and the nigga mentioned him, and he was like, he has to ask for permission. That's why I say I don't know all them details because I'm not in these organizations. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I
done seen cash out.
I done seen him cash out too. And the dude threw that nigga in there talking about, oh, you see this nigga here? See, he got to ask for permission.
He do be in Vegas. That's a different thing.
But now they ain't saying it's in Vegas. They saying, nigga, once you sign over your soul and your booty hole, that you can't do all that.
Clearly, Mayweather got both of his.
Don't say that no more.
Well, that's what them niggas do when they join the boule.
That's what they say.
Them niggas giving up Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
Like, what you said?
Hey, I ain't never
You gotta find another word. You gotta find another word.
Well, I mean, now, and also, well, shoot, their anus. We don't never. Well, their rectum. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, I mentioned that because we done talked about that before. They do that because if I can get you in a compromising homosexual position, then I can keep your mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna talk. You think Puffy wants somebody to know what he got going on? You know what I'm saying? Or you think a nigga want somebody to know that this man done ungodly things to you?
It's easy to believe.
I know Jamie Foxx gay because he said he had sex with Prince on stage.
No.
That nigga said, don't look at Prince. That nigga say, Prince, ooh. I said, boy, that nigga, that was fat. And that's what he did with Lenny Kravitz. That nigga say, you know what I'm saying? If I ain't saying I'm gay or nothing, but you be my first choice. And Lenny Kravitz sitting right there.
Pause. No. What did Lenny say?
Nothing. Nothing.
All quiet entertain the suspect.
Nothing.
Because it ain't no way if you a real black man.
Well, you
done came from the bottom, but now you straight.
Jamie Foxx go with Katie Holmes. That's what
I'm saying, but when you ever
say something.
Well, now one of the things that you ain't gonna now before we like to say the dude made a point of, and if you look at it, no, it's not like every celebrity do this, but they say you notice that most celebrities only date celebrities. It was going back what we were talking about, like with the mob or with being in the word. They don't want you dealing with outsiders. You know what I'm saying? They want you to deal with the same people so they can keep control over you. Pokemon, let's go. Jeremiah 17:13. You can't take that trip, buddy.
I know.
Because you got an Audi, not an innie.
Look at her. I do too. That was your face, bro.
That nigga looked up like, what? You never heard that before?
No, I never heard that. I mean, about a belly button, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
No. Talking about a little urination.
She was talking to the bathroom, and he wasn't.
Yeah, you got an Audi, buddy. Plug with a socket. And we don't need you going around those sockets right now, boy.
Alright, we're at Jeremiah 17, verse 13.
Jeremiah
13.
It said, O Yahuwah, the hope of Yasharal, all that forsake thee shall be ashamed, and they that depart from me shall be written in the earth.
You depart from this man, you going to hell.
Because they have forsaken Yahuwah, the fountain of living water.
And that's why I mentioned that with that movie. Like, I'm not into comic book movies. Now, the only people I can see having a complaint about this movie are the people who've been reading Black Panther their whole entire life. You know what I'm saying? The same way of the little white kids that they had a problem how they made Spider-Man. You've been reading comic books your whole life. You have a right to do that. You know what I'm saying? You can critique the film any manner you want to. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way that anybody from Harlem, if they wanted to critique Paid in Full, if they were alive during that time. Because it's more than a movie to you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something you immerse yourself in. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I can't think of too many. I didn't see the Thurgood Marshall movie. Somebody said it was good, this, that, and the third. But these are people that supposed to be part of our culture. You know what I'm talking about? They say Thurgood Marshall is part of them organizations too. Who knows? I don't know who in that stuff or who ain't. I know somebody in it. You know what I'm talking about? Who in it, I don't know. I know these niggas do weird stuff though. That I do know. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't doubt if a good 65 to 70% of them pedophiles either. You know what I'm talking about? Because they on that type of time. Y'all heard what they did to B2K. Come on back to 2 Chronicles 20. No, I actually heard Chris Stokes on a voicemail, like, you know, I don't do that no more. Touching on them little boys. That was their producer.
You know Raz B.
One of them
B2K, but he said somebody else.
Chris Stokes was their manager.
That was a nigga in the street. It's so rad.
Rad, all of them supposed to got touched. You can look at them and tell they got touched too. They claim Puffy touched Usher. That's what I was telling him last night. The little white boy Corey Feldman, he went and naming all type of people who were molesting children. He ain't never say Michael Jackson touched him though. He hung with Michael Jackson. He said Michael Jackson ain't touched me.
No, I don't think Michael Jackson was doing all that.
They're trying to destroy his image.
They may have been, well, all I know is a nigga who was being molested hung with a nigga who was accused of being molested and was adamant that he don't touch children. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna take his word for it.
But that's what I was saying though, like black entertainers who really come up and don't say nothing, like Michael Jackson was kind of vocal.
He was.
For the money he had and the fame he had, he was vocal. Versus these niggas out here with check.
Ain't saying nothing.
Ain't saying nothing about nothing at all.
Michael Jackson say the history books are a lie. The school is a lie.
So
You must know this. You have to know this.
Looks and all that, I can respect that though. Because at least you tried to say something.
Come on, man.
Catalog. That's what it is.
Yeah, that was some of that though. But he was before that Beatles catalog. Mike was running his mouth. Like the man called the head of Sony Records the devil. You know what I'm saying? So but the main thing with Mike though, he was fighting for artist rights, and that's the type of stuff that we not gonna pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? He wanted artists to get paid properly. He wanted but they say Mike was touched, and he probably was.
Yeah, because he started
Young
He
star.
probably was. But like I say, my point was Corey Feldman went on the Today Show saying niggas is touching niggas, insinuating that Charlie Sheen touched him and his homeboy. And when they asked him, did Michael Jackson touch you? He said, oh no, Mike don't touch no children. You know what I'm saying? So somebody who's a victim that ain't had no problem pointing fingers at niggas molesting people, and he ain't named him, I don't think Mike was touching them children. He ain't had no problem talking about the other people touching him. Why wouldn't he mention Mike?
Mike got that check.
Charlie Sheen got that check too.
Oh, I know.
I don't think Charlie Sheen got Mike check. He ain't got no Mike. That
Corey
Haim.
Haim.
Mike check. Not for them dry movies.
Who? Charlie Sheen got much bread, whether you believe it or not.
He ain't got no never running record, Fred.
Bet you lying. That nigga walk around.
That monkey named Bubbles on the
Nigga, I just told you his wife in his divorce papers say I caught this nigga watching gay child porn. Charlie Sheen.
He got Mike.
Cause he didn't want a giraffe. Instead he wanted hookers and dope.
That's what they want hookers and dope.
That nigga wanted hookers and dope. What am I do with a giraffe? Give me some cocaine and some yang yang, nigga. I'm talking about. Come on. Second Chronicle 29:3, man. Hey, so when we looking at opening the doors, well, we need to finish Isaiah 22. My bad. We know Eddie Murphy gay. The nigga got caught with a transvestite.
That nigga play hoes for a living.
If a man put on a dress on, it's highly likely he will get on his knees.
That nigga got 7 movies. He's a woman. Behold.
If a grown man put a dress on, it's highly likely he'll get on his knees. My statement still stands. Hey, listen to me. I ain't putting that past no race. I'm saying if a man puts a dress on, nigga probably got panties on under the dress, that nigga get on his knees. I don't care who he is. Nigga, Wesley Snipes don't get no pass. Martin don't get no pass, cause I'm a man. I'm a man. I ain't putting no dress on. You got me bent. Tell your mammy put a dress on, nigga.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle, he about that.
But that nigga did put a dress on though. I showed the nigga the clip.
He did.
Robin Hood, Men in Tights. I used to watch that movie all the time. First movie he was ever in, that nigga put a dress on.
I don't really. Unless he showed me that, it's very few. The only nigga I know
Denzel.
with a dress on is Denzel and Michael.
And get what? Denzel got shot in the booty.
Was that real?
What?
He got shot in the booty.
No, in Training Day they shot him in the booty.
But that was straight. I'll take it.
But you know, but what it is because I know this. Have y'all ever heard of Dr. Frances Cress Wilson? She wrote a book called The ISIS Papers. I read that book. And in that book, she was like, you know, she broke it down to the fact that white people use a gun as a symbolism of a penis. You know what I'm saying?
That's why they cut. That's why they.
And I can see that.
Did he really get shot in the booty though?
Yeah, you remember you said, oh, you shot me in my...
I'm saying, was it fake or was it real?
Of course, he didn't really get shot in his butt.
I know he was saying that symbolism.
That symbolism
Movies is symbolism.
of anal penetration.
It's cigarettes.
Man, I ain't know that, bro. And that's the one he won, though.
And that's the one he won an Oscar for.
He won, though.
I feel like everybody
They cut him off.
Nah, because he could have won out. He could have won out. Nah.
No, what I'm saying is, me knowing that before I ever saw that movie, that I know that a gun is a symbolism for a phallic symbol, and then taking that class, that movies as an art, and that they put subliminal messages and all this stuff in the movie, then I'm like, yeah, they wanted to. That's
Because he could have got shot anywhere.
They could have shot him in the head. They could have shot him in the arm. They could have shot him in the gut.
He didn't have to get shot though. They could have just banged his car up.
Very well so, but regardless of what, it's subliminal messages in every movie you watch. And that subliminal message for him was a homosexual act.
Disney not known for that.
Oh, Disney is definitely known for it. Definitely known for it. So I guarantee you, there's probably some good homosexual symbolism in Black Panther.
Got shot in the butt that performance too.
Come on, man.
I know.
Isaiah 22,
I think
man.
he got one from Michael Nett.
Somebody say the phone voice connection.
Yeah. I can't really do
He
nothing
ain't win
about
no
that.
Oscar for nothing, no?
Who, he won an Oscar for Glory.
Oh, I thought he won for Malcolm X.
He won an Oscar for playing a rebellious slave.
Oh, he got best support.
Best support actor. That was in 1989. Hey, come on, man. Isaiah 22 and 20. I don't know. I've not seen all the movies.
Yeah, I ain't seen him. He too old.
I mean, it doesn't mean that every single solitary actor will put on a dress. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, a lot of them do. But that wasn't my point. My point was, if you put on a dress, the chances of you being a homosexual are very, very high.
Yeah.
And that go for them niggas on the internet doing it too.
Oh yeah, but you know they gay. Cause you'll do that junk and you ain't even get paid.
Come on, man. Nigga around here putting a
You'll
dress
go for
on.
some followers and some likes. You's gay.
Ain't no real man gonna do that. No real man doing that.
29.
Cause you know what? 22 and 20. The reason why I say that is because if you knew a dude, if any of these women in here knew a dude that was doing that type of stuff, you would frown on him. You wouldn't talk to that man. See, we give celebrities a pass, and for what? You don't know these people. All they do is entertain you. We talk about these people like we know them, or we give them passes because they black. These niggas wicked. You know what I'm talking about? You don't know these people. Because guess what? All celebrities that we love, if you counted worthy into this man kingdom, you're going to be watching them burning in hell. I bet you ain't going to be like you, my favorite actor then. Why that happened to you? We have to be honest with ourselves and be real. I don't care how much you like a nigga's art. That nigga's wicked. Straight up and down. Nigga talking about Bill Cosby ain't do. Nigga, screw Bill Cosby. He going to hell. He an enemy of God. I don't care nothing about Bill Cosby, man. Ain't nothing personal. I don't know him personally not to like him. I don't care nothing about him because he black. Nigga, all you do is tell jokes, nigga. That's all you do. I like LeBron James as a basketball player. At the end of the day, all you do is shoot jump shots and open up movie houses. Because he don't say he's a businessman. I ain't gonna take that from him. I ain't gonna knock the fact, hey man, you do a lot of good works too. Sending kids to school, open you a school, but at the end of the day, you don't get your soul right, you going to hell, LeBron James.
Greatest ever done it.
Greatest ever done it. That ain't gonna be a hell. Just like the niggas in Tales from the Hood.
People feel like that by their aspirations too.
You know what I'm saying?
They feel like whatever it takes.
Whatever it take. Ain't whatever it take. You don't put your mouth on no man for no check, nigga. That's male or female.
Whatever it take to get my mama out the hood.
Ain't, see, that's guess what? Me and my mama gonna stay in the hood. If I gotta compromise my integrity as a man, it ain't worth it.
One night of shame, the life of
That ain't even Western society. That's just wickedness. Because we can read in the Word what niggas compromise their integrity for money or for status. All that. So that's not even Western. That's just the devil. You know what I'm saying? Because what did the devil offer Yahusha? I'll give you all this right here if you worship me. Ain't a man. What the book tell you? If riches increase, don't set your heart on them. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how it is. That's a lack of integrity. I don't care how bad you want something, you should never compromise your integrity for it.
Sit down, Mark, before you fall.
Come on, man. Don't never do that. Ain't nothing in this life worth compromising your integrity for. Nothing. I don't care what job they offering. I don't care how much money they offering. You don't compromise your integrity for nothing, because what else do you have besides your integrity? You ain't got nothing. It ain't worth it. Straight up now, you know the difference is, if we in the word, right, if you seen a celebrity that you like, and if you wasn't firm on the word and you started acting like a groupie, you need to go ahead and jump off the top of a building so you can go to hell with them. Because you looking at them in the wrong aspect. You shouldn't even look at them like that. This nigga's a sinner. So I don't have no adulation for no sinner. Nigga, at the end of the day, nigga, you just sing and rap. That's all you do. You don't serve my God. I don't see you like that. I don't see you like that. You don't mean that much to me. Nigga, all you do is play pretend. If a nigga's an actor, he's playing make-believe. He's doing what we did when you were 5, 6 years old. That's what that nigga doing. He get paid for it. Not saying it's easy, but he get paid for it. You know what I'm talking about? It's not that serious for me, bro. I respect what you do, your art, your work, but I ain't gonna be like, niggas fall out when they see celebrities. Come on, man, this nigga's a man. Y'all seen that little video when that nigga T.I., the nigga wouldn't leave T.I. alone? If you like a nigga, you be like, hey, bro, I like your music. Don't sweat no grown man, bro. Niggas be groupies. You ain't, if we say we set apart people, we ain't got no business being no groupie. To nobody. I don't care what they do and who they are. For what? Because at the end of the day, you showing y'all you love people who are against him more than him. It's not that serious. You know what I'm talking about? If you was to see your favorite MC, oh, you're going to be like, hey, boy. Like what you do, my nigga. And that's it. Or your favorite businessman. You know what the wisest thing have you seen? Can I follow you around, get some business tips? Not around here faint. I seen grown men faint for another man. Act like a woman about a man. That's a man. Word or no word, you ain't got no business acting like that about no man. Grown men faint for Michael Jackson. I ain't fainting for this nigga. I ain't fainting for this. Come on. Huh? Yeah, nigga was crying about LeBron.
About LeBron what, Lou?
When he left?
Man.
When that nigga left Cleveland, them niggas were crying. Them niggas were crying when LeBron left Cleveland the first time. Burning jerseys. I ain't finna do all that. I'm gonna buy me a jersey for the team he played for next. That's it. How this nigga leave us? Come on, man. That's ridiculous. That's idol worship.
Definitely.
That's idol worship. Come on, man. Remember what the book say. That which is highly esteemed among men is an abomination to Elohim. Come on. Because it's fourfold. I mean, the only reason why, because we live in a culture that causes you to invest entirely too much into people whom you have never met and will never will meet, and then you buy the image that is manufactured out publicly that this is who these people are, and you don't know these people. You don't know these people. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't put it past these people that they sacrifice the devils and all this other type of stuff. Because shoot, I don't know what these niggas doing. Because this niggas out here sacrificing the devils. This niggas on the north side sacrificing the devils. It's somebody on the south side sacrificing the devils. It's child molesters and pedophiles and homosexuals and whoremongers everywhere. So I ain't gonna put it past these niggas because they entertain me. No, I ain't gonna do that. We hear something about me, oh, they could never do that. That's such and such. How that nigga can't never do it? He ain't a corner man either? Shoot. Come on, man. 22 and 20. That nigga wicked. Isaiah 22 and 20.
It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that I will call my servant Alakim, son of Hilkiah, and I will clothe him with my robe and strengthen him with my girdle.
When he say clothe him with the robe, what he clothing him with? With the robe of righteousness. Remember Job? We talked about this other week. That's why I mentioned it. Remember Job say, I put on righteousness as a what? A robe. And he say fine linen, clean and white, which is what? The righteousness of the Kadeshim. Come on. I got to crank it up a bit. Oh my God.
It says, and I will fasten him as a nail in the sure place, and shall be for an esteemed throne to his father's house.
Yes, sir. He'll be in his esteemed throne. Yeah. Come on, 22.
The key of the house of David will I lay upon his shoulders, so he shall open and none shall shut.
So remember how he said that he opened the doors of the house to repair it, right? Which takes us back to this iniquity will not be purged from you till you what? Die. So he's able to repair your passageway to even enter into the house. How did he repair the door? Who is the door? And how did he repair the door? When he resurrected him from the dead. Because he broke the door, didn't he? So then he got to repair the door. Come on back to 2 Chronicles 29. Let's roll. Spend a lot of time on a lot of things, but it's all right. Come on, 2 Chronicles 29 and 3.
It says, and he in the first year of his reign, and in the first month, opened the doors of the house of Yahuwah and repaired them. And he brought in the priests and the Levites and gathered them unto the east street. And he said unto them, hear ye Levites, sanctify now yourselves and sanctify the house of Yahuwah Elohim of your fathers, and carry forth filthiness out of the Kadash place.
What do you think this filthiness is that you need to carry out of this Kadash place? But I'm talking about specific. He said carry the filthiness, so that's plural. So what you need to carry up out of there? Let's look at Mark 7 and 20.
Okay.
It says, and he said, that which cometh out of man that defileth the man. It says, for from within, out of the heart of man.
So it says within, so wouldn't that heart be the Kadesh place? So what are the things you need to move from out this Kadesh place? What is the filthiness? Read it, sir.
Evil thoughts.
Evil thoughts. Now what do y'all think an evil thought could be? Now who remembers what the word thought meant in Hebrew for what we looked at it as? What did that mean? Your evil plans, works, or devices. Next. Continue on, sir.
Adultery.
Fornication. Murder. Theft.
Covetousness.
Yep.
Wickedness.
Yep.
Deceit.
Yep.
Lasciviousness. An evil eye. Blasphemy. Pride. Foolishness. All these things come within the defilement.
That's what's going to make that makes your Kadesh place defiled. What is that Kadesh place? That's the sanctuary. Ain't that's the sanctuary, right? The sanctuary is the Kadesh place. That's the most set apart place. See, we talked about last night that now you can have boldness to come into this place. Come back to 2 Chronicles 29, man. We in verse 6.
Yes.
Now we're about to pull a word out.
It says, for our fathers have trespassed and done that which was evil in the eyes of Yahuwah Elohim, and forsaken him and turned away their faces from the habitation of Yahuwah and turned their backs. Also, they have shut up the doors of the porch.
Of the what? And put out what?
The lamp.
And
have not burned incense nor offered burnt offerings in the Kadash place.
Now this is the word for porch right here. Y'all see this here? I'm going to put it on the screen in a minute. Y'all see this here? Yeah, Ulam is the word.
That's so cool.
Ulam is the word for porch. What characters do y'all see with that? That nigga get that hair some pigtail, didn't it?
No, that's olive.
That's an ox. So we got right here, we got what? So we got the olive. So what we will use for this here with this porch? You got strength, ox, leader, first. What would you use? And then with the yard, what would we use? Well, this one here we would use stalks. I think that would be the best thing to use. Now Lamar, what? We're gonna have teach, and then what was this? Would be this. So life. So you got the first thoughts teach you about life, or the strength of the first, or Yahusha. Stalks teach you about life, because he said that what they did, they shut up the doors of the porch. So what he's saying is the Levites have closed the doors of the porch. So now you can't actually get to the porch, which is a vegetable or waiting area in the temple. You understand what I'm telling you? They shut that up. Why is that important? Matthew 23 and 14. This is what he said. Remember, he said they have turned their backs.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
It say, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye devour widows' houses for a pretense, making long prayers. Therefore ye shall receive the greater damnation.
Yep.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! When he is made, when you hypocrites, for ye compass sea and land to make one proselyte, and when he is made, ye make him twofold more child of hell than yourself.
Yep.
Woe unto you, ye blind guides, which say, whosoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing.
I think you already read it right. Did you read the verse where he said they shut them up from getting into the kingdom of Elohim?
That's verse 13.
Give me verse 13. That's what we're doing.
It say, but woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of Shammahim against men, for ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer.
This is what Chronicles is telling us about. Because he said these Levites shut up the porch because they wasn't trying to go in and they were trying to stop you from getting in. So what were they trying to stop you from getting to? They were trying to stop you from getting to Yahushua so that he could give you the thoughts of the teachings of life, or the words of the teachings of life. Because we know thoughts is dealing with what? Your plans, your intents, and your devices. You know what I'm saying? Yahushua's plan and intent was for you to do what? What we read in Acts 26. To turn yourself from darkness to light, to open your eyes, to turn you from death to life, from the power of Hashatan to the power of Elohim, that you might receive the inheritance and forgiveness of sins for those who are sanctified by the faith that is in him. See, when you transfer your mind to his mind, your thoughts and the intents of your work should change. That means you would have did what we just read. You would have carried out the things out of the Kadesh place that was filthy. You would have cleansed it. See, the word supposed to cleanse your heart out. Ain't no way in the world. I put it to you this way. If you've been in the word for over 3 years and you still desire the same things, you've been wasting your time. You know what I'm saying? You've been wasting your time. Now you got to ask yourself how long you're going to keep wasting your time. Because that word should have already cleansed that stuff from out your heart after that period of time. See, what I was telling you the other day, like knowledge means absolutely nothing without belief and obedience. I don't care how much word you know. Because it's people out here right now, Alicia, that know way more word than you. And they going to hell. You know what I'm saying? The knowledge is good because you need the knowledge of Elohim because it leads to the wisdom and understanding of Elohim. But it means absolutely nothing if you don't follow it, if you don't allow it to transform you. It said the Torah of Yahuwah is perfect. It converts the soul. So how long does it take for the word to convert you? It don't take long. You know what I'm saying? Now we ain't talking about fine-tuning things here and there that you realize. I'm talking about it don't take long for it to change your thoughts and your actions and your intents. At least for the bare minimum, your intent. You know what I'm saying? If not the bare minimum, just your intent. You know what I'm saying? I give you a little bit of time as for changing your thoughts, but when you change your intent, you change your actions. Oh, it's fine. I would believe it too. You know what I'm saying? How you been in the word 3-4 years and you still intend to go fornicate, or you still intend to go lie? Or you still intend to go steal or blaspheme? That doesn't make sense, does it? Don't make no sense. Keep on reading 2 Chronicles 29. That's why you think when people go to prison, they come out and they do the same thing. Because they still have the same intent. Ain't nothing happened. You change your intent, you change your actions. Because when you change your intent, you change your thoughts. And that's the first thing you got to do is change your intents. That's why he say, I know the thoughts and intents of the heart. When it comes to that word, it's going to show it. That word going to show what your intent to do really is. See, niggas just be thinking because they know something that they straight. See, what I was going to get right when he mentioned that part about he got a door that can't nobody open. What Mashiach told him in Matthew 7. They say, Master, we've done many great, wonderful works in your name. And what he told him? I don't know you. But guess what he said, though? It said he was in the house looking out, talking about why you knocking on my door. Not Matthew 25. It's in Luke where he said they went to knocking on the door talking about let me in. He He said, I don't know who you are. Why you knocking on my door? You know what I'm saying? But you don't want to have yourself caught out here like to see this man done shut that door. Can't nobody open it at that point. And the reason why you're not going to be able to open it because of the dollar. It's the teaching of the covenant that gets you to the door. The covenant is telling you to offer yourself. Humble yourself. Serve. It's 3 key components. If you can master those 3, because the word is simple. It's not difficult. It's simple. It's not hard to follow. It's willingness and desire and commitment. Do you know what I'm saying? That's all it is. If you had a desire and a willingness and a commitment to commit sin, then why we can't have a desire and a willingness and a commitment to do what is righteous before the eyesight of Yahuwah? That's not hard. Come on, man. We in verse 7.
It says, also they have shut up the doors of the porch and put out the lamps, and they have not burned incense nor offered burnt offerings in the Kadash place unto Yahuwah.
Now we're not going to deal with the incense. Y'all remember what the word for lamp was? We talked about it last week. Go ahead. Well, shoot, what part you know?
I know it.
Who remember what the word for lamp was? Lamp. I don't, hey man, I didn't say y'all couldn't look at it. I never said nobody couldn't look at their nose. You remember? Go ahead and tell the truth. Oh, he can't think of it. Shayla said, wait. Henry got some stank on it? Say, don't, he said, roll the window up. You're letting all the stank out. Nigga, that why? Starts with an N.
Yeah, sure is. I got it, man. I'm good. I got it.
Starts with an N. Going once? Going twice? So what? The ultra man don't care nothing about you to my whole no. While you trying to figure out what your bed gonna be? Lamp. We know light is mayor, oil is shaman. We talked about that lamp. So did, because we talked about them 10 virgins. Now yeah, there it is. Nisha knew it.
Not in the house. I can't lie now. Where you get it?
Oh, you told it. And that don't count. They cheating. They cheating on their test. They said they cheating on their test. So who remember the characters for that? Nair. Noon is one of them. Huh? Nair. Spell it N-I-Y-R.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So when we look at that, we get what? The noon, the yard, and the resh. What would that tell us? It's going to tell us about how the thoughts of the head lead to life. So when he said that they were putting the lamps out into place, that goes back to what we read in Matthew 23. They're trying to extinguish the thoughts of life. This is what the Levite priests were doing. This is what the false prophets do. They're trying to stop you from receiving life. Continue on, verse 8, 2 Chronicles 29.
It says, wherefore the wrath of Yahuwah was upon Yehuda and Jerusalem, and he delivered them to trouble, to astonishment, and to hissing, as ye see with your eyes. For lo, our fathers have fallen by the sword, and our sons and our daughters and our wives are in captivity for this.
Go ahead.
Now it is my heart to make a covenant with.
It's in his heart to do what?
Make a covenant.
What else?
With Yahuwah Yasharal, that this fierce wrath may turn away.
Was it not in Yahushua's heart to make a covenant with Yahuwah so his wrath could be turned? 1 Thessalonians 5 and 6. Make it 5 and 4. Who you looking for? 5 and 4. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 4. We got about what? 3 more words?
It says, but ye brethren are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are children of the light and the children of the day, and are not of the night nor of the darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober.
Yep.
For they that are asleep sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us while the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation.
The hope of what? The hope of what?
Salvation.
And then say Yahuwah Elohim is the hope of who? Yasharal, ain't it? That's where your faith. And hope is not hope if you can see it. Because if you can see it, what you hope for it for? He say, but if a man wait, he said, but if he see it not, then he wait for it. And see, at the end of the day, right? And to get to the root of the matter, like when it comes to stuff with Black Panther and all this other type of stuff, like I seen a dude with dude was an Israelite 4 years ago, 2 years ago, he was a Moor, and now he RBG. Because at the end of the day, if you serve Yahuwah, you got to wait on him. And you got to trust him. And you got to put your hope in him. And that's what people don't want to do. They want to push it themselves. And that's why they'll tell you you religious or you weak because you say you trust Yah and you going to wait on him. You know what I'm saying? Because niggas want to push it themselves. But all this talk, these niggas talking about pushing something themselves and they ain't been able to accomplish nothing yet. And you wonder why. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, you done with this?
No, you're not. Not what I wanted, what I came to.
Sit down to her. It says, for Elohim have not appointed us to wrath, but obtain salvation by our Master Yahushua.
So right there, right? Yahushua made a covenant so the wrath could be turned, right? And that's what Hezekiah, and Hezekiah is what? Yahuwah is what? My strength. Yahushua said his grace is made perfect in what? Weakness. And that would be your strength. And what is your strength? Trust in Yah forever and the joy of Yahuwah. Do you really, truly delight in doing his will? See, that's another thing that will hinder you from working at 100% capacity, because you don't have a delight and joy in doing his will. And doing his will is not always necessarily what's contained in his law. It's doing what you know is correct and right in his eyesight. But most importantly is having faith in him. That's his will. Everybody don't have a joy to do this man will. Everybody don't even have a joy to hear the word. That's why niggas change ideologies all the time. Or change doctrines that they believe in. There's very few people that gonna tell people, hey man, you need to save your soul. You know what I'm saying? Nigga want to make you feel good. I'm not here to make you feel good. That's not my job. You know what I'm saying? That's not my job. It was never written in the job description. It's definitely not in my resume. You know what I'm saying? Not when it comes to preaching the word. That's not in my job description. You know what I'm saying? You know why you end up feeling good if the word being preached? Because you live in righteousness, so you hear his promises and it brings joy to your heart. Because you have a delight and joy to do his will. So therefore you have a delight and joy to his promises, which has absolutely nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? The same token that if you hear your damnation and then you get mad at me, you ain't mad with me, you mad with him. You the one living like that. Your heart the one like that. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But I'm supposed to tell you though. People need to hear, they need to be warned. Change all of this like this here, man. All I'm trying to implore somebody to do is change their life today. That's it. And I ain't never heard nobody come to you and talk to you nice about getting you to change your life when you doing stuff you ain't got no business. And when I say doing stuff that we got no business, I mean if we acknowledging that I'm not working at 100% capacity, then we're entertaining and doing things that we ain't got no business. Bottom line, you know what I'm saying? So then we got to come up, what do we need to do to change that? Period. Continue on, sir. We're in verse 11. Listen to what the thing he finna tell you not to be. 2 Chronicles 29 and 11. You already read 10.
Wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one another.
2 Chronicles 29 and 11.
Oh, that's why I thought we was at 10.
Oh, no. We already hit that. When we got to verse 9, we were done. To verse 8, we were done. 2 Chronicles 29 and 11.
It says, my son, be not now negligent, for Yahuwah hath chosen you to stand before him to serve him, that ye should minister unto him and burn incense.
That's good. Let me ask y'all a question. When you hear the word negligent, what do you hear?
I think about somebody not taking care of their kids.
Okay then. Careless. Okay. Anybody else? Irresponsible.
Just because that's a charge. Child neglect.
Yeah, child neglect is a charge. Anybody else got anything they want to look at about being negligent? You ain't got nothing? DC said slothful. Anybody else? Going once, twice, sold. The word itself also means to be negligent, but it also means to deceive and to mislead. In Hebrew, that's what it means. Now, in English, all y'all definitions were correct. We talking about the Hebrew word. We can look at the Hebrew word. Because the Hebrew word don't mean negligent like we look at negligent. In English, all y'all definitions were correct. But this is the Hebrew word for negligent. The word is shalah. Y'all see that? Shalah, y'all see that? It means, it says that to be negligent, but it also means to mislead. So what characters do we have up here, everybody?
Stop.
So what is the two front teeth, ma'am?
Stop.
What are the two teeth, Stan? Tell her what the two front teeth is, Stanley. The shun.
Stop.
And then we got what? You got the lamar, right? And then what's the last one?
Stop.
Huh? What we got for the last one? Somebody help me out. Nobody wants to help us. So for the shun, what would we use? Huh? It's the hey. Because you got what? Two raised arms. Y'all need to go in the car. I ain't mad at you. Whatever works. Whatever works. If that works for you to remember it, I'm all for it. But I'm still telling you, go get in the car. But it works. So for the shun, what would we say? It means to consume, to destroy, and what else does it mean? Devour. It also means to be joined together or a pair. But we're going to look for devour on this one because the definition of the word is mislead or consume. So what is this teaching? So what he's telling you here is if they're going to consume the what? The teaching or the instruction of who is revealed. So when he's telling them not to be negligent, he's telling them not to devour or to destroy the word. Get me 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 1.
I ain't put this one in.
What we want? I got the character.
What it is?
What it is? I got you. Hold on.
I ain't want to butcher that one.
You ain't want to butcher.
That's the only one I want to count. Because they got 2 C's in it.
Caught some out, y'all.
That's what I thought. Because it got that C in it. And I thought that was that should be S.
Indeed. But it's definitely C. Definitely C. 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 1. So you got to realize this, right? If you're going to preach the word, because he's talking to the Levites, so they cannot devour the teaching of him who is revealed. Can't deceive the people. Hezekiah is giving them instruction. Don't be negligent now. Don't be negligent. It's a lot of negligent niggas out here. Hey.
Man, I like this shit. You had the top off, Blair.
I tried to put it back on, it wouldn't go on.
Let me see.
Shoot, I ain't got. Shoot, nigga. Oh, that's why. Wrong
I
side.
thought you was a little more innovative than that.
I'm not
the other side.
Nah, I wasn't thinking about the other side. I wasn't focused. I cannot deny. That nigga dead.
Yeah.
That nigga dead. Shoot, he make it work, nigga. Make it work. I got you. 2 Peter chapter 2.
I'm here.
Yeah, but shoot. Yeah, I already told you that, verse 1.
It said, but there were false prophets among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying.
You know why this is important? Because we talking about entering into the sanctuary, and these people who going to be negligent are not going to cause you to follow the pattern. So they're going to mislead you. They're going to devour the words of righteousness. That's what they're going to do. Go ahead, man.
It says, even denying the master that brought them, bringing upon themselves swift destruction. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of.
Evil spoken of.
And through covetousness shall they with framed words make merchandise of you, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not.
It lingereth not, and they damnation slumbers
For
not.
Elohim spare not the Malachians that sin, but cast them down to hell and deliver them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with the overthrow.
Drop down about verse 13.
It says, and they shall receive the reward of unrighteousness, as they count it pleasure to ride in the daytime spots.
What y'all think that mean when he say you count it pleasure to riot in the daytime? Huh? Well, yeah, what y'all think that mean when he say they take pleasure in rioting in the daytime? To a certain extent. And if you hear daytime, what does that mean? In the light. So who is the light? So that means that they people feel comfortable. What we read in Luke last night, when he said, "Oh, my master delayed his coming, I will beat the men servants and the maid servants and get drunk." So these people don't feel, meaning they're being deceived, they're being negligent. I don't have a problem with being wicked in the light. I don't have a problem professing to be a servant or teacher of Elohim and be wicked. So I'll riot in the daytime. I don't got no problem with that. Little riot. She told him to go to bed. Shoot, you rocking that boy hard too. I wouldn't go to sleep like that neither. Shoot, I don't know how he supposed to go to sleep. You rocking him like that. You rocking him like you like this here, like you don't even love no more. Shoot, I wouldn't like that if I was him. Rock me gently. Y'all gonna give me shaking baby syndrome. Shoot, I said me. Don't rock me like that. I'm talking about when I was their age. Shoot, sometimes I do. Shoot, never too big and grown to be rocked.
Everybody need a little southern company.
All right.
Shoot.
Really?
I like to be rocked to sleep. I won't be rocked to sleep. I like a warm bottle. Come on, man. Keep going.
It says, and deliver the just lot vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. For that righteous man dwelling. You said you wanted 13. My bad.
Yeah, you already read 13, but give me verse 15 because we got to speed on past it.
Which have forsaken the right way and are going astray, following after the way of Balaam.
What is the way of Balaam? Who knows the way of Balaam?
Love the wages of unrighteousness.
Who is Balaam?
He had cursed the people.
He cursed the people. Y'all know what Balaam's story is? It is in Numbers. You know what part of Balaam's story should stand out that most people know or remember? That's what that donkey, when that donkey went to talking to him. Go ahead.
It says, but was rebuked for his iniquity. The dumb ass speaking with the man's voice forbade the madness of the prophet. These are wells without water.
They wells without what?
Water.
See how that take us back to what we were looking at in Ezekiel 37? Ain't no water in them graves.
Clouds that are carried with the tempest, to whom the midst of darkness is reserved forever. For when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they are lured through the lust of the flesh.
See how they mislead? No, they shalah right there.
Through much wantonness, whose that were clean escape from them.
But those that are clean, see, I done told you this before, and this is why sometimes I mention to you about, if you were in the Word and you were dealing with certain people, and now you're not dealing with them no more, read that part again. Just the last part of it.
It says, for when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they are lured through the lust of the flesh.
So you got some people, they speak nice words that try to cause you to have a desire to fulfill the lust of your flesh. But look at the next thing he says.
Through much wantonness, those that were clean escape from them who live in error.
So those that are clean escape from them who live in error. See, sometimes y'all have you be able to, see, if you're not clean, then y'all will let you stay right there with people who live in error so you can go to hell with them. You know what I'm saying? And it goes back to, I sanctified you that you should be mine. You know what I'm saying? That's a good thing when he calls you to escape from people. So you think that happens for a reason? You don't think that happens for a reason? See, that's why I be mentioning. So why we be looking back trying to cleave to people that he causing you to escape from? Then you had to sit back and look at, if you escape from him, it wasn't nobody but YAH's doing. Because he could have left you back there with him. You know what I'm talking about? He could have left you back there with him. See, we don't ever look at it in that aspect. And you sit back and look at it, pray the Lamb. You know, any time we can look at that book and see how he let people escape from somebody who were doing wrong. He could let you stay right on there and die. But you know why? Because guess what? Because they were being shalah, they were being negligent. You heard what he said then? Through wanting this other flesh, right? Misleading, deceiving. So you could die. Come on back to 29:11. We got 2 more words. I got to get 2 more words and we gonna slide.
So you're gonna have to wait.
Wait.
29 and 13.
11.
My son, be not now negligent, for you who have chosen you to stand before him and to serve him, that ye should minister unto him and burn incense.
Pause. Now let's look at it, right? The word for chosen is bakar. Bakar. You know that made me think about that nigga name? No, that nigga name like Nazi. Before he called himself Bakar Precept, so he called himself Chosen Words. Nice Prince Commandment. Because that's what mitzvah means, is commandments. And Nasi mean prince. The ruler of commandments. But this is the word for chosen, it's Bakar. What characters do you see?
Inside the house.
You got Bakar, so if you're inside the house, what character is that?
That's the
Inside the house.
That's the bot. So what is this character? So what character is that? If it's the gate, if it's a divider, what character is that?
You can always look back at the word to help reference.
Indeed. But for time's sake, we have to move on. Indeed, that is the cut. So then what character is this? That is not a bet. So what is that, sir?
The head.
No, I'm not. Pause. No, no, head. None of that. That's the Rosh. So we have the bot, the cot, and the Rosh. So if we have the bot, we have what? A house, or the head separates you to get in the house. That's what it means if you're chosen. The head is separate. This is why he told you not to be. That's why he told you not to be negligent. Because the head or Yahusha has separated you to come in the house. So get me Psalm 65 and 4. So every time you see chosen in this book, then you need to know that you were separated by Yahusha to enter into his house. That's why you ain't got no business reaching back. That's why we went that those that are clean escape from those who live in error, because you have been separated to get in the house. Clearly they had not been, because if not, they wouldn't be living in error, now would they? He wouldn't have separated you from them. He wouldn't have done that. This is why I always tell you that everything after its own kind. If you've been chosen for damnation, then he gonna give you a damnable spouse, and he gonna give you damnable friends. If you're chosen for salvation, he's gonna give you a righteous spouse, and he's gonna give you righteous friends. He ain't gonna have you clean with people who are in error. He gonna separate you from them. Let them niggas be wicked over there by themselves. Go ahead, sir. That nigga bought a broom.
65.
Psalm 65 and 4. Make it verse 2. Shayla came prepared.
That don't look like I'm doing. You brought them? Yeah, I said that look more up.
You say that don't look like our doings. That nigga, that's stupid. That nigga said that doesn't look like our work. Let's go. Psalm 65 and 2.
O thou that hearest prayers, unto thee shall all flesh come. Iniquities prevail against me. As for our transgressions, thou shalt purge them away.
Yep.
Baruch is the man who thou choosest.
Baruch is who?
Thou whom thou choosest.
Hold on. Let's see what that word is in that verse. He said Baruch is the man who you what?
Who thou choosest.
Let's see if we got the same word. So Baruch is the man who the head has separated to enter into the house. Woo! It's a lot of niggas going to hell, ain't it? It's a lot of niggas ain't blessed in.
And causes to approach unto thee.
Cause you to do what?
Approach unto thee.
Now you see why the master said, all mine are thine and all you done give it, because I already separated these people. That should make you remember when we looked at that Psalms 47? I don't think it was 47. But the one where he said, you know, you fearfully and wonderfully made, and all my members are written in a book. His already been chosen and set apart. Come on, man.
That he may dwell in thy court.
Dwell where?
In thy court.
Dwell where?
In thy court.
In his house.
We shall be satisfied with the goodness of thy house.
Of thy what?
Of thy house.
So you're going to be satisfied with the goodness. Who is his house? It's Yahushua. So then you will be satisfied with the good things that come from him. This is why I always tell you, if that's what Yah want for you, ain't nothing you can want better than that. Because that means that's the goodness that come from his house. Whether it be gifts of the Ruach, whether it be certain things that directionally lead you in life, whether it be the people he had you fellowship with, whether he had the person is that you married. If they come from out his house, then that's good then, and you should be satisfied with it. But see, we don't be satisfied with the goodness of Yahuwah, because we want the satisfaction that comes from our flesh, which takes us back to what we read in Peter, with those who are negligent, who mislead and deceive, because they're trying to get you to be satisfied with the goodness of your desires. You see the difference? See, I've told y'all once, and I've told you twice, and I'm going to tell you again. Yahuwah offers and speaks to the inner man. The adversary offers and speaks to the flesh. Do you know what I'm saying? And that is one of the most strongest abilities that you can have to be able to discern who is of the adversary and who is not. If a nigga do something, who regardless of who it is, but even more so if they in the word, and they justify carnal behavior, you know that's not Yahuwah. You know that's not. Man. Yeah. All right then.
Oh yeah, every week. Talking about.
I guess I got too loud for their taste.
Yeah,
hear the word of Yahuwah and repent and save your soul, white people.
I know you heard that.
That's a hate group in there.
Yeah, I ain't even say crackers today.
He knew that thing. Oh
yeah, they call it light duty.
I smoke we gonna put that one day.
Oh no, not as long as Greg run this library.
Greg said preacher's good by me.
Yeah, he always happy to see me.
Preacher can come preach any Sunday.
Any Sunday. Met him at San Pablo. They sent him over here. Hey, what's going on, Pastor? You doing all right? It's always good to see you. That's it. Every time. Every time. No exaggeration. No cap. Come on, man.
Even his Kadash temple.
Even his Kadash temple. You ought to be satisfied. See, now you can see why Yahushua said what? No man can come to the Father except I what? Draw him. He said, you haven't chosen me, but what? I chose you. That's why we read that there. You've been called by the adoption of children before the foundation of the world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sit back and look. And we're gonna deal with that chosen part a little bit more, y'all willing in the future. Because remember what he said? He said, I chose your fathers to love them, didn't he? I set them apart. That's why he said all Yasharal is not of Yasharal. Everybody ain't been set apart to enter into the house. Just ain't the reality of the matter. You feel what I'm saying? Psalms 50 though. Psalm 50 and 3. Because I got two more words I got to hit y'all with. I got 14 minutes. Well, then I got 24 minutes to do it.
It says, our Elohim shall come and shall not keep silence. A fire shall devour before him.
Now, how does our Elohim going to come and not make silence? How do we know he's not going to make silence? According to the text, he going to come with a shout. So he ain't going to be quiet. We in Psalm 50 and 3.
It say, for fire shall devour before him, and it shall be a very tempestuous.
What does that mean when he say the fire going to devour before him? He coming with fire and chariots. Come on. Because now, so we can tell that Psalms 50 in the beginning of it, because at the end of it, it's talking about Judas. When he say you consent with a thief. He say, what are you doing taking my covenant in your mouth, seeing that you cast my words behind your back? But at the beginning of the chapter, it's talking about something else. Come on.
It say, and it shall be very tempestuous round about him. He shall call to Shamahim from above and to earth, that he may judge his people.
He gonna call them from where?
From Shamahim above and from the rat.
So if he calling from Shamahim above, what that mean to you when you hear that? Remember what we talking about? Didn't he say he gonna come back with a what? When what did he do for Lazarus? What did he do though? He shouted. That shout allowed what to enter into Lazarus? That breath. So we just referenced it back Ezekiel 37. So when he called from Shamahim, he calling for who? Calling for his people. Go ahead.
That's little. You're little.
Huh? I'm not little.
You a little baby.
No.
You're,
I'm a little baby.
you're a little girl.
No. You're a little baby.
Okay. It said, gather thy Kadashim together unto me.
No, see, that's the difference. It ain't Kadeshim there. It don't say that there. Read it though. Gather my who?
Give it to the people. Gather thy saints.
Gather thy saints. This is the word for saints. It's Kasid. It's not Kadeshim there. It's Kasid. So what characters do we have here? What's this character right here, y'all? You got the Khan, right? What's this one here? The Samek. And what we have right here? The Yod. And what we have right here? So we have what? We have separation first and foremost. Now we don't deal with the Samek a lot. At least it doesn't come up a lot.
You don't know about that, do you?
I do, but it escapes my mind. I know it's throwing, support, and protect.
Throwing in my side. Yeah. The wicked.
See, you thought I ain't know this.
Yeah, I ain't say you ain't know. I said,
Duke it on you. You know what I'm saying? That nigga tried it. I was ready though. So with Samak, right? So Samak means a thorn to support, to protect, to turn, sharp, piercing shield, to grab and hold, and infinite. So what should we use if this is separate? What should we use right here? I think we should use protection. But what do y'all think?
I think support is protect. I think they run together.
Support and protect. So we'll use support. So we have a separation of support. So now we have yod. What will we use for yod? You got arm and hand, work, actions, worship, and deeds. So we got work, and then the daleth, what we have, the door. So what will we sit back and what will we gather from this message? Because he said gather my kasid together.
Through your works.
So we look at this right here. Your works will separate you, to support you to enter into the door. So why? Because you were chosen. Because the head separated you. I'm in the wrong side. The head separated you for what? For you to get in the house. So now we turn around, because remember what we looked at, he opened the doors to repair him in 2 Chronicles 29, right? Remember I talked about he got a door that nobody can shut? And a door that nobody can open if he shut it. So when we look at being a kasid or a saint in this instance, we see that our work separates us, and it gives us the support to get in this house or in this door. So this is what it really means to be a kasid or a saint when he's looking at this verse, because he said gather my kasid together. So he's saying gather together my people who do the work and separated themselves from by doing the work. This gives them the support that they need to enter into my door, and it proves that I chose them. See, a lot of people don't want to do that work. What is the work of Elohim? To believe on him whom he has sent. Remember what he said in John chapter 6? What is the work of Elohim? To believe on him. When you believe on him, see, the law doesn't produce obedience. What doesn't produce faith? But faith produces obedience to the law. Because once you believe, then you'll begin to obey. See, we know a lot of people in the word, whether they're Hebrews or Christians, that say they believe, but they don't obey, which means they didn't believe. See, what a lot of brew get messed up at is they think their obedience to the law is going to produce their faith. And then when they get put in situations, y'all shows that they don't believe.
So why would it be obedient to the law?
Because the law is not of faith. So you could keep the law and not believe in Yah. Because at that point you're doing it because you feel like he ought to reward you for doing so and that he owes you. But see, he's son Yahoo. That's why you can't receive the Ruach from obeying the law. You have to receive the Ruach by faith. And that separates those who are his and those who are not.
And it wouldn't make them no different than the people who had the law before Jesus came. So that's all they was doing.
That's all they law. Come on, man, read that verse. Oh my God. Oh, he crying because she walked out the door.
Hey, you fake though.
And she walks out the door all the time, sir. You don't do this at home. Yeah, it's about. Yeah, when he hungry.
Yeah, he definitely hungry.
Psalms 50 and 5. Come on, man. Or 50 and 4. Somebody get that boy and give him some comfort.
He be waiting too. He be waiting for somebody to say it. He's so fake.
All day
You
long.
got to look up to see somebody looking, and then you got to finish it.
Yeah, just for the sake of what we doing. We wasn't doing this here. He could have kept on going all I cared.
Yeah. We done seen it.
He shall call to Shamahim from above, and the earth shall be, and from the end to the earth, that he shall judge his people. Gather together my Kasid unto me, that they may have a covenant with me by sacrifice.
That made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Now let's look at the word sacrifice. The word is zabah. Zabah. So what character do we have here? And what character do we have here? And then the house. I mean, in the cot. So what will we use for Zayin? We know it means to nourish, but we also know it means to do what else? To cut. So it's the cutting that separates the house. So for lack of a better term, to use, it's the sacrifice literally that separates you to get into the house. And what does that tie into the Kasid? It's because it was the work that separated them, that gave them support to get into the door. Which was the work? What was the work? It was faith. And what does that take us back to? This iniquity will not be purged unless you die. Because guess what? For you to be chosen, so if the head separated you to get into the house, which means you were chosen, that's going to take you that you would decide that you would sacrifice yourself along with Yahushua. So therefore you would sacrifice yourself to be separated to get in the house. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know I say cut off. I'm just substituting. Yeah, cut off. And then it's the work. So what is the work when it comes down to it? Romans 6 and 2. And we out of here.
It's only right.
And I'm letting you know, like the first 30 minutes or however long that was, it's not on here because I did not hit record yet. So it is not on here.
It says, what shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? Yah forbid.
Yah forbid.
How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Know ye not that so many of us were baptized into Yahushua Mashiach, were baptized into his death? Wherefore we are buried with him by baptism unto death, that like as Mashiach was raised up from the dead by the esteem of the Father, even so we shall also walk in newness of life.
What was the promise given to in Psalm 17? No, Psalm 16 that Peter quoted in Acts chapter 2? Anybody know? Let's read it then. Psalm 16 and 8. We'll come right back to Romans 6. Make it 5. Psalm 16 and 5.
It says, who is my portion of my inheritance and my cup, and thou maintainest my lot.
He's your portion and your what?
My inheritance.
He said he also your what? Your his cup to him. That means you'll be willing and ready to drink that cup, wouldn't you? Go ahead.
It said, the lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places. Yea, I have a goodly heritage.
You have a what?
A goodly heritage.
Oh man.
I will Baruch Yahuwah who has given me counsel. My reins also instruct me in the night season.
What you think that mean when he said he's giving me counsel and my reins instruct me? You know what the word reins points to? Y'all know what that points to? If my memory serves me correctly, it points to your kidneys. Inward man. So when he say my reins do what in the night season, what he say they do?
It says my reins also instruct me.
So his heart instructs him in the night season. Remember we talked about Lev? What is those two characters for Lev? The teaching to get you in the house. So that means if that word is in your heart, it teach you what to do in the night season. When Yahushua was praying in Matthew 26, what time of day was it? And what did he pray? Don't let this cup pass. So even in that time of tribulation and suffering where he wanted to do his own will, he said, if it be possible, let this cup pass. But you know what that's taking you back to? That's Jeremiah 49 when he say it's in the heart of you to say not to drink this cup, but you shall surely drink. You surely gonna drink. And I guess what? That's what these niggas, that's why they enemies of the state, because they want to say, I don't want to drink this cup. And y'all say, you surely won't drink it either. So if you say Yahuwah your portion, then you would desire that cup. Because he is that cup. And then it would make more sense to you when you drink that cup on Passover. That you just not saying you sipping some wine. You understanding I'm taking the man's suffering on, I'm manifesting his death. Because my sin will not be purged unless I die. See, and that's going to come down to the sacrifice. And if there's the sacrifice, that cutting is separating you so you can get in the house. See, and that's why we always talk to you about sacrifice and denying yourself. You're not getting in the house without it. How did Yahushua get into the Kadesh temple on high? What got him there? His sacrifice. If he didn't sacrifice himself, you think he was going? No. Go ahead.
It says, Al Baruch, you who have given me counsel, my reins also instruct me in the night seasons.
That counsel is what? Train up a child in the way that he should go. My Father has given me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak. And I know his commandment is life everlasting. Come on.
I have set you always before me, because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved.
You said it. See, that's where a lot of us mess up at. We don't set this man always before us. Come on.
Therefore my heart is glad and my esteem rejoices. My flesh also rests in hope.
My flesh rests in what?
In hope.
And who is the hope of Yasharal? Yahuwah. Why does his flesh rest in hope, sir? No, he's going to tell you.
He said, for thou shalt not leave my ruach in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thine Kodash one to see corruption.
He knew he would resurrect him from the dead. He would resurrect him from the dead.
Thou wilt show me the path of life, and my presence in fullness of joy.
Give me that Isaiah 22 and 14 one more time. And then back to Romans 6. He knew he was going to resurrect him from the dead. That's why his flesh rests in hope. If you was to die right now, will your flesh rest in hope? And if not, what you going to do about it? These words told you what you should do about it. And you can do that today. When I say today, I mean literally in the next breath you take. Go ahead.
And it was revealed in my ears by Yahuwah of hosts, surely this iniquity shall not be purged from you till ye die.
Go back to Romans chapter 6.
Says Yahuwah of hosts.
Now that's y'all told you that iniquity ain't going nowhere till you die. Play with it if you want to.
It says, knowing this, that the old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed.
So is that not what we just read?
That henceforth we should not serve sin.
That you should not serve what?
Sin. For he that is dead is free from sin.
If you dead, you free from sin. Which is what he told him. If the iniquity wasn't going to be purged till he died, then guess what would happen? He was free. Give me 2 Corinthians 3 and 16 and that'll be it. 3 and 16.
It says, nevertheless, then it shall be turned to Yahuwah, the veil shall be taken away. Now Yahuwah is that spirit, and where the spirit is, Yahuwah is, there is liberty.
There's freedom.
But
That's it. There's freedom wherever his ruach resides. Because guess what? That takes us back to that Ezekiel 37. When he breathed breath into them, they were free. They were free. They were no longer in bondage to death. So hallelujah for Yahushua, the word. And we got to put these people room together. What's up? Oh, I'm not.